We
No,
didn't die
no, that's
either.
fine.
And much like a
Frick. Forgot to do that.
a stereotypical telenovela, the reason that Vinny was shunned was his amnesia.
Oh yeah, we did brain diving, didn't we?
You did brain diving. Yes, this is true. Also, get used to it. I'm sorry, those watching on YouTube. Yeah, I know I'm botching it and it's out of alphabetical order. I don't care anymore. There we go. Fixed. We have now I've now fixed it because I forgot to add Sovek to the list anyway. Alright, that's all good. So hello everybody. Welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players. Cat.
Hi.
Kirv.
Saluton.
Kay.
Greetings.
Vinny.
Hello.
Romulus.
Ciao.
And of course myself, the DM. So,
Boo.
boo! You do not boo the DM. I'm going to give myself
We do.
inspiration because of that.
We do.
Boo.
You boo?
I'm going to give myself.
Who? Why you?
I'm going to give
I
myself
will
a
turn
second
this stream
inspiration.
around.
I will turn this stream around.
Make me stop this.
Oh, hold on,
Make it
no,
right
hold on.
lines.
No, we have a solution to this. You know what it is? Crimes of Cat booed the DM.
Oh, come on.
The worst crime of all.
Yeah, it is. It's worth at least 10 points.
Can we, like, if I keep saying boo, can we summon, like, a fire dragon and see how well these crystals hold up?
Question: how many crimes do we need? Cat to have before Cat gets an alignment change?
I'm not going to force alignment. Just remember that I am the creator of this world, and therefore I have the power to give and take away. So you know, just these things happen.
If you take away, can I get given?
I mean,
No,
I didn't boot a DM.
no, I know you didn't. Cat did, but remember, you're a party, and you should be taking care of the minor members of your party because Cat doesn't know any better because she's young, and it's
Yeah,
also
exactly.
Jamie who also doesn't know any better, even though
Kay
he's the
doesn't know
oldest
any
person
better.
here.
also exactly.
He doesn't know any better.
Yeah, Kay's even younger.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Kay doesn't know any better. Okay, but Jamie, you should, because you're the oldest person in our group. Alright!
Not mentally.
No, not mentally at all. Alright, we shall begin. Enough of this antics. Alright. Are you all ready? I need to close the Crimes of Cat document, otherwise I'm
How
going to keep
dare
adding
you
to it.
insinuate that I would ever be ready for anything ever?
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. Put this on and begin. Welcome back, everyone. Now that we're all gathered together and well rested, I think we should get a quick recap, don't you? Our party of yet to be named adventurers, Cat, Kay, Kirv, Romulus, and Vinny, had split up to divide and conquer some goals this past day. After having said farewell to their resident Paladin who was rushed home due to an incident, the newbie, Kirv, searched intently for a goose with no luck. The Rat Master Kay cleaned himself and his scouting crew in the baths, and the rest of the party went shopping, but found not necessarily what they were looking for, as a group who recognised and didn't like Vinny opposed them. Something about his past, possibly lingering and something to do with the party perhaps, meant that it caused an issue in the Den of Furs, after some tensions rose and then eventually fell. The party decided it was best to try and uncover all of this. Cat finished up her shopping and, with Vinny's consent, delved into his mind. There she found a strange mirror-like location that held memories, or fragments of them at least, that had been torn from his history. Numbering in the hundreds perhaps, but it's hard to tell. After seeing a writhing mass of flesh-like material that reflected her image back at her, she was ejected from Vinny's mind, but retained what she had learned despite a magical attempt to dissuade this. With Kirv otherwise now unconscious due to an insanely strong drink that she couldn't handle being put in front of her, thanks to Romulus, the rest of the party went to bed, tucking themselves
Not
in,
intentional.
and went to sleep. Not intentional, that is fair. You all rest, unless there are some last-minute things that you wish to do, but I believe we resolved most of it until the beginning of the morning today.
Yeah, we did.
I downed my drink and passed the fuck out.
You did. Inside of your respective rooms, Romulus and Kat, Kay and Vinny, and Kirv on your own, you all sleep as best you can. For some of you, it's peaceful and well needed and much needed. For others, it's wrought with concerns and uncertainties about the future. Despite all of this, you all wake, feeling well and ready for the next day. One by one, you all get ready, leaving your rooms, except Kirv. As you wake Kirv within your otherwise wonderful room, you don't remember how you got here, but it's lavish, it's nice. It's a soft bed, fluffy pillows. You're all wrapped up and snug. You're in your clothes from the day before, which granted could have used a bit of a clean, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I'd be more worried if I wasn't.
That's true. You wake and find the room empty. There are no curtains in this particular room, but there is a crystal hanging on inside of a glass case to the side of the wall, which lightly floats there, illuminating the room with a kind of a deep orange glow to it. As you otherwise look around, you note that there is a bowl and towel off to the other side of the room. Investigating it, you see that the towel is fluffy, white, unlike the ones back home, and as you run it between your fingers, it's nice, it's gentle, it's soft. And looking into the bowl, you see a reflection, perfect of you, a perfect representation of you, clean, completely, no muck, no mud, no nothing. Pristine, high quality, this would be. What do you do?
Kirv would like to have another look at the crystal, because that's odd
Okay. Going over,
and
you
suspicious.
going over to the crystal, you can see where there's kind of this metal frame that attaches to the wall itself. You can see kind of just these glass panels that that contain what looks to be a crystal, roughly hewn in kind of a teardrop-like shape, except the kind of the harsher and more cut angles to it faintly hold in position there as it's set in the base of this, with tiny, smaller crystals floating around it, lightly animated as if orbiting the crystal itself. The light it gives off isn't harsh to the eyes, but it does fill the room and illuminate it entirely.
Kirv sort of rolls her eyes and mumbles to herself, pretentious. And I go to open the door.
Okay. You go to open the door and it's stuck, jammed, possibly locked, you're not sure.
I try again with a bit more force.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a athletics check. Or is it a strength save?
It is a. Ooh, that's a good point, actually. Because I'm not on my overlay, so I. It is strength save.
Okay. Make me a strength save then, please. What is Kirv trying to beat?
Strength save equal to spell save times
The level of the spell?
what it is.
Well, I don't think I've met it.
So that would be 15.
15. Okay.
A good old 6.
6. Okay. You tug on the door and you can feel a slight give, but it's well jammed in place. This door is not well fitted to the frame, it would seem.
I'll be hanging outside the door when we leave, anyway.
Okay.
Opportunity.
I grumble. I knock on the door. Hello?
Would I be outside at that point?
I'd say sure. Just remember that you do still have 1 point of exhaustion, even though you have all recovered from a long rest.
That's
You
fine,
still have
that's
1
fine.
left, whereas Kay, I believe you relaxed the day before, so you have none currently.
I do indeed have 0.
Okay.
This door seems to be broken.
No, it's not broken. Kirv, doors in this plane. If they're concerned about the people inside, you have to ask them nicely to open.
Roll me a deception check.
I would.
You're downstairs, Romulus. You're getting breakfast.
No, this is a Harlan thing. This is definitely counting towards the crime list.
Yeah, you
just-
better get that document back open.
Yeah, that's true. Manipulation of
Oh,
party members. Or
No, I want
gaslighting.
to stress.
There we go.
This isn't gaslighting yet. It will be gaslighting when Jamie denies having anything to do with the door being locked. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Gaslighting. Because it's inevitably going to happen. Okay. So, that was a total of 6. Remember, you're doing this with disadvantage.
oh. I'm gonna
'Cause
go down from there.
Nat 1, nat 1, nat 1, nat 1.
5
5.
versus Kirv's passive insight of 12. Kirv, you're pretty sure that Kat's playing you on somehow. You don't entirely know how, but she doesn't... Sounds more like a practical joke.
Cat, I thought you were better than that.
Well,
Have you locked me in?
no, but have you tried asking the door nicely to open?
I am not doing that.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna go over to the door. I'm gonna strike the door saying, "Thank you for protecting my friend. She's now up and safe." And I'll deactivate the spell.
Okay. Kirv, are you still tugging on the door?
Yeah.
Okay. As Kat finishes saying this, you watch as there's a mild flash to the door, and you swing backwards as the door pulls open suddenly with all your weight behind it, as you tumble backwards into the room, just going completely into a backwards roly-poly and hitting against the back portion of the wall with kind of a light thud as you do so.
Didn't take any HP, did it?
No.
Okay, cool. Why were you standing so close to the door?
Because you weren't gonna say thank you, so I did. Anyway, we're gonna go get breakfast now. See you soon. Just plod off.
Okay.
I
Okay.
won't forget this.
Okay.
Kirv will remember this.
Okay. You head downstairs, otherwise joining the rest for breakfast, as Vinny. As you're sat at the table, Romulus returns with, I'll say, your breakfast meal. I'll let whoever wishes to pay 5 silver, and it will cover your food and drink for the day. This will include your breakfast and your lunch.
I will pay.
Okay. As the food is brought over, Nightlight, the otherwise the deep sea angler, merfolk individual, just wanders over with the platter, places it down on the table, and goes, "Oh, Master Vinny, there was something delivered for you in the mailbox this morning."
Oh?
Yes, it doesn't look particularly prestigious, but it was labelled for you. And hands
Cat
you
just hands
a-
over a steaming turd with a post-it note on it.
Has it got mysterious ticking?
The parchment is what looks to be a folded, scrappy piece of paper, but where the folds meet, for where you'd begin to unfold it, there is an inky stamp of what looks to be a shape of an eye on the surface of it.
Is this a symbol I would recognize?
I would say go ahead and roll me a history check with advantage, because it's quite possible you would have known about this. The main person who would have, unfortunately, is no longer with the party at the moment.
Oof.
Is it the one with the many eyes?
You don't know. No, it was Damian.
The unobservant
Okay.
one.
So with advantage here, you do. This is a very well-known organisation, and why your crew often didn't come down this far south. This is the organisation known as the Eye. Or at the very least, this is the symbol for the Eye Guild, which is a more vigilante spy network. It's well known for its secrecy and its publicity at the same time. Nobody knows who's part of the Eye, but the Eye always has a hand in some form of crime fighting. They're a good vigilante group for the most part, but they tend to run in their own manner. From what you know, which is very vague and generally unlinked based on rumors, it's supposed that the Eye works for the crown, and works for the royal family within Maruk, and that they have a network throughout. The main thing that is noted is that this symbol goes far and wide, far into the Beastlands and far into other territories which you have heard of. Individuals who have travelled as far as the outer northeastern reaches, where the Hammerhorns otherwise like to live, all the way up there. They've come back with rumours saying that the Eye have otherwise had a hand in things up in their territories, suggesting that they're quite far spread. And given that you've suddenly received this letter with this symbol on it, means could be an omen, could be a good thing. You're not entirely sure. If you open it up, you'll read what's inside.
Yes. Midnight tonight. Okay. Okay, looks like the time frame has moved up then. I thought we had until the auction. Apparently the necklace is going to be disappearing tonight.
Oh.
So, if we're going to get it, we better get a move on.
How can a necklace disappear?
Presumably someone's going to move it.
Are
Oh,
you sure it isn't
presumably.
magic?
Oh, it's
I mean,
always
it could be.
magic.
After all, a wild Kirv appeared through weird magic.
True.
He has a point.
Tell you what, how about we head over and go get it now then?
It's not just something we can walk up and go and collect.
How sure of that are you?
Isn't it in one of like the important households?
Should in theory be difficult to get access to. So, before we left for the mines, I went up there with Kay to go check it out. There were guards around the perimeter that we couldn't get past, but if we can slip past them via some means, it shouldn't be too difficult to get access to the house.
Okay.
So remember, Chris, where exactly were the guards?
The guards, from what you generally understand, that the guards were patrolling around the perimeter and through the general streets between a lot of the mansions and kind of the higher buildings that are up there. The walkway and ramps that lead up to these tower-like structures, or these kind of tabletop-like structures, are guarded quite heavily by a number of guards, with the gatehouse being more built. There are also a number of aircraft that otherwise travel around the area. The ones you haven't had too much interaction with so far, but they do travel around the area, and given it is now morning, they'll most likely find it easier to spot you at this current time.
Okay. And is it one house per tabletop, or is there?
No. So the large tabletops will otherwise expand for probably a good maybe 10 to 15 buildings, and then they will have a bridge that will lead to another tabletop or some other section. There are larger tabletops that otherwise expand through larger sections of this, where they have been merged together over time. The material was outsourced from what you could tell, and seems to be supported by both steel and stone.
What if we set the house on fire?
We can't. There's crystals.
Magic. anti-fire crystals. It's very annoying.
What is up with everybody here wanting to mess with fire?
But you know what?
Because it feels like they
It's
set the
good,
challenge.
healthy fun.
Indeed. Now, have you considered vast amounts of acid?
Ooh.
Not a terrible idea if you can get access to it.
Well, I
But we
understand
still
that
need to
there
get past the
is.
guards.
I understand that there is a den of alchemy, or something to that effect. Oh, one moment.
Is that Romulus saying one moment?
That's not.
Oh,
That's no.
It, I hate it when he stops and shoves his mouth full of food in the middle of a conversation. Ugh. Dear me.
So is this just a house?
Yes.
A manor house,
Like
yeah.
a manor house? Okay. Okay. But they have enough security to keep this necklace safe?
Maybe?
I mean, the whole area is guarded. If we're lucky, that'll mean they won't have much in terms of personal security inside the house. But
Would you mind if I had a quick check of who owns this house?
Huh?
I'm asking Vinny.
I assume it's Pollock Brew, who's the guy we're stealing from.
Yes.
What's he like?
But he's a gnome. He's an ass, apparently.
Is this fellow at all related to either the Cindrix feather thing or the iron the thorn seed?
From what you remember from politics, there isn't a resemblance in the name, but you don't know the surname at all. They're not the Cindrix feather and the iron thistle both belong to two houses. I can't remember if you did the research as to which ones they were.
We did do some research on it, but I'll be honest, my notes are a dumpster fire at the moment.
I'll say in this instance, then it'll probably require a check of some form to otherwise figure out who it would be.
What check would you like? History?
Can I do a check as well?
Yeah, go for it. Remember, you have disadvantage there. Cat.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, I'm just loading everything up to join in. Apologies, I'd forgotten to.
You forgot to load up tabletop for the session.
I loaded up tabletop. I forgot to join the game.
Fair enough.
I think that might be worse.
Well, that's still, what is it, history? That's a 12 still. Not too
I'll
bad.
say, from what you remember, they were two of the greater houses. So they were ones that were more prominently known. You don't entirely remember which ones they were. I'll say that you pick up that one of them was House Tully.
I've got nothing.
No,
I've
as
got
far as you're
100
concerned on
here,
this, you
but-
can't remember who it would be. But Tully was one of the family names. Outside of that, you don't remember who control or which one that was even two. You just know that that's one of them. The other one, you're not entirely sure who controls or owns it.
I wonder how much money it would take to start a riot.
Wonderful
Well-
questions that we've got to ask.
I was wondering if perhaps it may not be possible to show to. I am a large, imposing, and quite visible character, and I am very bad at stealth. So I would suggest that I essentially knock on the door as a distraction and try and make a bit of a nuisance of myself.
There's a problem with that.
Mm.
We can't actually get to the door of the building.
We can't get to the door of the building.
That
Too
is
many
correct.
guards in the way?
Is there a
The whole
gate that
area
we
is
could knock
guarded.
at?
I don't think the guards will let you touch the gate.
surely it must be guarded. There must be people there.
Yes.
Well, I go up, I say I demand to speak with...
The manager?
Well, not necessarily the manager,
I
but...
will deal damage to you. Don't make me do it.
Maybe we need.
But I demand to speak to Mr. Polyp. Or whatever the fuck his name is.
Maybe we need to go with a story that will make him want to talk to us. We know he's interested in jewelry. What if I said I was interested in selling a lovely piece not from this plane?
That's actually not a bad idea.
Might get his attention.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, that we'd still need to work out how to get past the guards. They're not likely to work for him directly.
If I remember correctly from what you saw when you went to the gate. You'll remember that there are a number of guards of different house colours. The guards that are there aren't just defending one house, they're defending all of them. So in this instance, it's more of a soup of loyalty as opposed to a singular house being defended by the guards at the gate. It's more of just, there's a group of them.
Okay. So if we can find one of his people, he might work. Do you have the item on you to show to them?
Not exactly. But maybe I could make something. I do have something. Chris, do I have the something? You mentioned it a few sessions ago.
There's something? What was this?
Coin.
Oh, the soul coin?
Yeah, I was thinking I could perhaps form it into a ring.
I believe, didn't we roll for if you had the soul coin and the answer was no, you didn't have any on you?
I don't remember that. Okay,
We'll
we
say-
need to come up with something that would be.
Yeah, I'll say for the
Cool.
moment it's you don't know until I get back to that.
Could I use one of the scales on my armor?
If you want to pluck one off, yeah, that'd be doable.
Mhm. Make a little ring out of it, perhaps. Expertly crafted.
Who will be doing
I'd
the
still like
crafting?
to take. Romulus can put his hand to most things. Romulus? No?
What are we doing?
If there's PVA glue and
Making a
pasta
ring?
involved, I will do that too.
What is the scales made out of? I mean, Kirv wouldn't really know.
No, you wouldn't really know. It's kind of just a blackish metal, for the most part, and they're finely decorated into feathers, so it would be a.
It's from a goose.
It's already got like a fine craftsman to it, or craftsmanship to it.
I can deal with woodwork at the moment. Although I have been, arguably, for reasons, I have been looking into smithing. This is for when I get my level up and become a rune knight. Because I don't want to just randomly get smith's tools without an explanation.
That's fine.
Not all. I can.
Do you have an idea of what this ring looks like?
I mean, we could take one of these, sort of pointing at one of the feathers on my armor, and fashion it into something close to a ring. It's just got to look moderately nice, and then the story will back it up.
Romulus, Can you force that into something like a ring?
I can try.
And I still think it would be good if Romulus came with me up to the guard or gate or whatever, just in case, things go wrong.
It's true, I do make a good meat shield.
Exactly. That's the spirit. So what's the plan when we get in there?
Well,
Get in
I
there.
think
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I think we should see if we can get the ring to look like a ring before we get too far ahead of ourselves.
True, this is going to be a challenge, making sure that it's, a ring.
I mean, if it all fails, we can just maybe find something on the ground, pretend that's worth something. It's all about the story.
It doesn't have to be a ring. Can't we just make one of your feather things into a more pendant? I mean, it looks like it's finely crafted anyway.
Into a pendant. Do we have something?
It just might be easier to do that than essentially reforge this entire ring.
Then that's fine. This is not my area of expertise. My area of
It's not English either.
expertise. No, literally.
It's English.
Common, sorry.
Yes, common.
Not used to common either.
Ah, maybe the plane that she comes from, this is basic common. Oh, we just assume that common is common, but
Or Sicily.
that. See? Okay, but yeah,
didn't
I
do
think
great
it
in
probably.
school. But
Nice
I
job,
am a great salesperson.
Yeah?
I know someone better.
Excuse me.
I know someone better.
She's not very polite to doors.
Dolls can't buy anything.
No, but they love.
You got to know where to put your energy.
Yeah. Okay,
And I
so
give Cat the evils.
Cat is just completely clueless and smiles and waves. So, yeah, would a pendant be easier, Romulus? Is you're the one that's going to be doing the metal work here? Unless anyone else is good for metal work.
Not really. I can. Whatever story we use to try and get through the gate, I can try and help sell it. But
I've got an idea, but it won't be a pendant.
What's it gonna be?
Chris,
Hmm?
correct me if I'm wrong, but finely crafted bracelets and braces can be made from wood.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, that tends to come down to the wood's quality, rarity, and what else it's got going for it.
Mm-hmm. Further to this, if we could heat this feather is made out of metal, correct?
Yes, dark metal that you currently have not identified.
If we can heat it up, we might be able to essentially. I could create a bracelet out of wood, which is my main thing. We make it look like slightly fantastical wood from your home plane. We burn the pendant into it in order to get it to stick, and have that be and say it's a sign of some devil or demon or whatever. specially crafted in the fields of Dis, or something like that.
Once owned by the Lord of Crows. I could do that.
Lord of Crows sounds good.
Yeah,
Mm.
a lord. I'll push that. I'll push the Lord angle.
Who's the Lord of Crows?
I thought it was. Is it not self-explanatory?
The
Well,
Crow Lord?
your version of Goose is different than our version of Goose, so maybe your version of Crows is different than our version of Crows.
Regardless, I feel it comes
Crow's a
across as
crow.
more grandiose if you don't explain it.
Would I have heard of a Lord of Crows? Would any of us have heard of a
I
Lord
don't think
of
any
Crows?
of you would have, no.
Well, he's a lord, a gentleman, very powerful, renowned. Bit of a knob. But all lords are really, aren't they?
What?
True.
I check around. Are there any crows?
No. You're inside.
Good.
Maybe a perception check anyway, who knows?
Ah, we are being watched. Jeff is secretly a crow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, great. Another crow familiar.
Nope. You look around and you're paranoid that there must be one in here somewhere, but you can't see one.
A Kenko in a corner, like, quickly puts their hood up.
He's like eating and turns to see all of us staring at him.
I think you'll find they're called AVRs, but yes.
Sorry, I forgot.
That's right. So, what is your first step to this then?
Let's see
Well,
how Romulus does.
While you
Yeah,
lot
let's
do,
see if I can make the damn thing.
while you lot do that, Romulus,
Hmm.
I could possibly infuse the wood with magic.
That would help sell our shtick.
That's what I did with the leather strips, wasn't it, Chris, at the beginning? I managed to infuse them to start with.
Yes, that did, however, take chalk and enchantment crystals. And I believe you are broke, and you do not have those.
I'm not broke, though.
This is true, but you'd have to find them. So this is going to take time, mainly, because, Vinny, according to your letter, you have a day, which means that you have, as it currently stands, being that you went to bed probably a reasonable time. It's probably about 8 in the morning. You're discussing this over breakfast, so I'll say it's 9 currently. And you have until midnight tonight, so you have about 15 hours to do all this in. To work on something intricate, in more of a bracelet form, is going to take time if you want it to be intricate. Like smoothed out, polished and stuff. This isn't going to be a quick job. And failures are going to make the time longer, or there's going to have to, or there may end up being muck-ups which will make things worse. So it's going to be a difficult thing to try and do.
Kirv gasps. Oh, I have an idea. And she takes the piercing out of her ear. How about this?
No, you don't want to part with your stuff, and it's not very hygienic. You know, just giving someone else a piss.
Okay, I'm going to make this very simple. I'm going to start working on creating some sort of wooden bracelet or other thing that seems appropriate for this.
How big are you making it?
Okay, so we need it to be of a reasonable size. Just to confirm, the necklace is human-sized to our knowledge.
Seemingly
Medium
so,
range.
but you don't entirely know. It's one of those things of, it could be smaller, it could be larger, you have no idea.
Yeah, we don't
Okay.
know very much about it, unfortunately. I mean, I
I
have
am
the
going.
picture, which I will show you, but
I will lean on the side of caution here. I will lean towards slightly smaller rather than slightly larger, so it because that way you said it's a gnome family. This guy, there's a gnome.
yes.
So I'm going to have it be on the smaller side. That way, if possible, if he desires it, he can wear it. You know. Now, I'm going to need wood. Vinny, you work on a backup plan in case this doesn't work. Cat, I'll give you some whatever money you need. Go and see if you can find the things to imbue this with magic once I'm done with it. K and Kirv, if you're alright with it, I'd like you to go and see if you can find me materials. I need the fanciest wood that you can find, and I need anything else that you think will be appropriate. Do you think you can do that?
Yes.
Fancy wood.
Then let's us three go together, try and locate it. The moment I have the materials, I'll start working, and if I require anything else, I'll have you two go and get it. Is that all right?
Yes. I do think I may need a change of clothes, so it's not obvious we've just plucked one of these.
Very well. I reach into my bag and pull out my winter cloak and wrap it around Kirv. There you go. Hidden. Let's go.
Does it
Okay.
have a hood?
Does it have a
If
hood?
it does have...
She pulls the hood on and just enjoys life.
Hey.
How much
You're
gold did you just
spooky.
give me? I mean, I do have some gold. I didn't spend all my gold. I just didn't want to use it all.
Well, I don't know how much enchantment crystals are, and I have... Let me have a look here.
If I remember correctly, charming crystals come in 50 GP chunks. And you need at least 1 to begin the process, and then 25 gold pieces worth of chalk to begin the process.
I think then I will give you 150 gold.
Okay.
I would like the change back before you get any ideas of any more crimes, Cat.
Should I get 1 crystal or 2 to play it safe? I'll put it up to Romulus.
Grab 2 just to play it safe. Worst case
Okay.
scenario, we'll use it for something else.
I'll add it to my collection of crystals.
Wait,
Oh.
you already have a fucking collection? What?
They're needed. They're already aside for something else with other components that are also needed for what I need them for.
Cat, you must get better at lying.
No. Later down the line, I plan to try and make a wand. And I've got the crystals from when I planned to do that.
Okay. So, we have Romulus, Kirv, and Kay all looking for materials, so I'd like an investigation check from each of you. Cat, you are otherwise looking to get chalk and enchantment crystals, so I would like an investigation check from you. And Vinny, what would you
Wonderful.
be doing in this time?
Can someone please come with Cat? I'm rolling with disadvantage.
Please assist Cat, Vinny. And also
Okay.
come up with other ideas, because this might fuck up.
Okay. And
So it
Vinny,
is-
go ahead.
There are a couple of backup plans we could have, since there are some groups that do theoretically have access to the area.
That was an 8, so what's going on there?
I don't know. I stopped pressing buttons and it just kept moving.
Yeah, if
Was
we
that a
had-
perception check? Sorry.
Investigation.
Oh, investigation. My bad.
That's right.
Yeah, because I don't think we're gonna get away with pretending to be abbots. If we had Lloyd or Damian around still, we might pull it off.
17.
Can I use Jeff to give me the help action?
I'm going to say in this instance no, because it's useful to do that sort of thing in combat, but to always be able to have a familiar, be able to give you the help action is very powerful.
Okay,
So
I can come along and help you if you want.
cool. What's your investigation like?
Not negative.
Okay. Well,
So
if you
Vinny-
want,
+2.
if you want to roll, you can roll.
okay.
Okay.
So we have Romulus. What did you get?
17.
17. K. What did you get?
From my 8, I got a 13.
13. Kirv got a 17. You said.
Yep.
Okay. Cat, you got a with your
11.
disadvantage. 11 or 7?
11.
11. And Vinny.
Investigation it was?
Yep.
At 19.
Okay.
One thing I'd like to specify is Kay doesn't understand what fancy wood is because he's never seen fancy wood.
Okay.
So I would like to be looking for anything that might look like it would go well with what we're trying to make.
Okay. I'll say, in this instance, going across the board, Romulus is your otherwise window shopping with Kirv and Kay. Kay's pointing out all the bits of wood that he finds and sees. Whether that be firewood that's being sold for people to start kindling, possibly, but it's not selling very well, as you can probably imagine. You can see individuals seemingly selling materials, large planks of wood, series of nails and stones to go with. With what you're finding, Kirv, as you're otherwise going along, you can see that there are fine bits of furniture that people are selling, but there doesn't seem to be much raw material outside of basic building materials. Same sort of thing with you as well, Romulus. There isn't really a place to buy fine wood to be carved. There's lots of places to buy furniture that's already carved, but there's nowhere to really buy raw materials that are fine, as it would seem. Nowhere public, at least. If there is anywhere, it's probably more of a warehouse situation where you have to have a contract or some form of inn already. But in this instance, you can't find anywhere that sells the raw materials you might want.
I think Chris just wants us to fail.
I think that's probably accurate, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it checks out.
I mean, in this instance, it's just very difficult to find this, because up here in Zaker's Crossing, there's very little
A world that you
place to buy.
created.
I know. There are very few people selling raw materials just as they are. I mean, you could potentially remake something small into a bracelet. That would be doable. But it'll
That's
be...
what I was thinking.
If you'd like to do that, that's fine. It will cost you a little bit more, but it will be possible.
Yeah, I think that's my only real option here.
Okay. I will say...
I don't care what it starts off as. It could be a goddamn table. It's all about the quality of the wood rather than the whatever it actually is. Because I'm confident enough in Romulus's skills to be able to...
I'll say
Across
across
we
the...
established it's very difficult to buy a table.
It's not difficult, it's just expensive. It's difficult to carry it around with you all the time.
We've been on this quest already. Romulus
you
trying
have.
to buy a table.
We have. So, in this instance, I will say, looking through various shops, you do find a few areas which have, like, more of a carpenter speciality. Romulus and Kirv, with you two kind of keeping an eye out and realizing that raw material on its own is difficult to find, you find, between the two of you, what looks to be a very nice, kind of, already carved decorative tankard, which could quite easily just have the bottom and the top sheared off, and it would make a wooden bracelet.
But obviously I'd have to do a lot of work to that to make it nice.
Yes, you'd then have to, like, smooth it out. It would mean that you wouldn't have to do the intricacies of the detail. You'd be able to leave the detail as is, but its integrity would be a little bit questionable. You might need to do a little bit of extra work with some form of either sanding or gluing, which would be different kinds of checks as opposed to just carving, but still within your area of expertise.
Okay.
Now, Kirv and Vinny, with you two looking around, well, not Kirv and Vinny, Cat and Vinny, sorry. Cat, you're finding it very difficult to find anything. You're still quite exhausted, and from walking around, you're very kind of groggy, low-eyed, you're still quite tired, and you want to go back to bed, honestly. You find shopping very difficult today. But Vinny, you're keeping an eye out, and there are individuals selling all of this enchantment equipment. But for the most part, a lot of them seem to, from what you can gather, paying at or making you pay a lot more than it would be if you aren't part of the college. And what you can gather is that it's going to cost double of the original price if you want to get crystal, as enchantment crystals are otherwise used for various purposes, but in this particular instance they are under the control of the various establishments that work with the academies and the colleges and universities.
Okay.
So your 50 gold piece crystal will cost you 100 gold to get if you wish to.
Is that the only thing we need, or is there more on top of that?
That's chalk.
The chalk. The chalk isn't restricted. You need 25 GP's worth of chalk. That's okay. It's mainly the crystal that costs double because it's more a restricted material.
Yikes. Do you have money for the chalk?
We do. I mean, I've got 150. So we can get.
You've also got your own money.
Yeah, I can.
Hey,
can
my
buy the
money keeps you
crystal.
alive.
Yeah, I can cover the cost of the crystal if you can pay for the chalk.
Yeah.
What's this? I get that we're primarily making it for the heist, but given how much it's looking to cost, what's it gonna do in the end?
It just diffuses the wood with magic,
Okay.
which may help sell the story a little bit more. But
It's
And
I
that's
mean,
the first kind of thing a collector's going to check. I'm not there, sorry.
You're not there.
yeah, so I just wasn't sure if it would have any like specific enchantment or.
No, this isn't an
no,
enchantment.
no.
This is just an infusion. So
Okay.
this will mean that in the later stages, if Cat then wants to turn this, let's say for example you keep it, Cat can turn this later into a magical item that would have the infused element attached to it, making the enchantment process easier. Effectively, you're spending more gold to lower the DC.
Okay. Yeah, we should try and hold on to this thing then if we can.
Right, heck, why not? I mean, I can't see us leaving it there. Okay. Right. Yeah. Right.
So, while you two decide if you want to pay for this sort of thing, Romulus, Kirv, and Kay, while you were looking around, you obviously found the tankard. I'll say the tankard being a fine crafted piece, I believe that puts it at a tier 1 piece of art, which would mean that it is 50 gold? Just going to double
That
check.
sounds about right.
It's either 50 or 150, so I'm just going to double check. You could probably buy the upper variety if you wanted to, but we'd have to see. Treasure, art objects, 25 gold or 250 gold.
I assume. Okay, no tankard costs 250.
Depends on what wood it's made of.
Okay.
Remember, there are gold and silver spoons worth like 200 or 2,000 pounds. So
I hate the world.
I know,
So
but
Kay
still.
should be stealing silverware now. God.
We can steal them from this guy after we've gotten the necklace.
So I'd say in this instance, given that the tankard would be made of a fine wood, it would probably be 250 gold. Otherwise, it would have to be a smaller object or made of a cheaper material, like not necessarily a fine wood, but something that would still be considered an okay-ish wood for the purposes of it. So let's say,
In Crab's professional opinion, it looks like a 200 gold.
okay, and what
I
opinion?
feel like this means something.
Are you going to? Are you going to try and persuade the person selling in this instance?
I could get in on that. I'd like
Is this your intention, Kirv, to try and barter with them and lower the price?
I feel like it's gonna botch everything. But Curve would.
Okay, so you otherwise approach the shopkeeper. This particular carpenter is what looks to be kind of a rather broad-shouldered, gnomish fellow by the looks of it. Kind of a scruffy beard at the front. One eye is pale as they currently stand by what looks to be a station where they work, and on inwards seems to be some form of an apprentice or someone who's also working on something. You approach the countertop, and the gnome otherwise addresses you. Aye. So you're looking to buy this tankard then?
How much?
It's a marvellous piece made of some wonderful wood. I'd say, given the nature and it's been here for a little bit, I'd say 225.
225. Can we make that 210?
The
You
gnomish
said it's
fellow
been here for a while.
looks at you. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Is there any chance I can I can add some advantage to this by just my sheer physical presence being there? Of like,
If you're looking to intimidate, that will end up as a very different effect
Yes,
if
I know.
Curve
What
succeeds
about
or
charm
fails.
smile?
I mean, that would still come under persuasion,
can
but
I try and look charming? Yeah. Could I then be there like, even look very charming? I'd just flex a little, I guess.
okay. Romulus, I'll say go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. Then
I'm more trying
Romulus.
to assist Curve than I am.
Oh, you're
actually
trying to assist Curve. I see.
Yeah, I'm trying to like.
In which case, I'll
I
allow
want
it.
to do the help action.
You want to do the
So-
help action? Okay. So advantage persuasion check, please, Curve.
This is just there giving puppy dog eyes.
You kind of lean on the countertop, and
Wait. What's my plus? +7.
+7, 9. You lean
Okay,
on.
that's actually not too bad.
You lean on the countertop and begin and kind of ask for the
Wait, 7
210.
plus- No, that's 5 is the lowest one there, isn't it?
No, 2. Both of them are 2.
I rolled
You not got
two.
inspiration?
Look, Curve's brain cells are trying as hard as they can.
Mm. You otherwise lean on the countertop, and the gnomes, and the one of the gnome's one main good eye kind of looks down where you've put your elbow, and you look down and you've put your elbow right onto what looks to be a very nicely decoratively carved portion of the countertop, with a sign next to it that says "Do not touch." To which the gnomish individual looks back up at you and goes, 250. You disrespect the work of my grandmama, and now you're asking me to lower the price. 250.
I am going to physically pick up Curve and remove Curve from being in front of this person.
Kay is going to look like some random ass person that has just wandered into this situation, and just be like, "You two, get the hell out of here! You messed up this man's fine work over here. Get out of here! Go!"
Roll me a
I
deception
wink
check.
as if that was my whole plan.
Do I get advantage because he put his elbow into his grandmama's work?
Or Curve put her elbow into the.
Yes.
I'll say just make me a deception check because he'd be wary of a third strange customer coming into his store today.
No one ever comes in here. It's shit. Can I'll do my bit after these two have had their fun.
I mean, I guess I got 10.
10 on deception?
Yeah, I don't want to use my inspiration on that. Could be worse. It could end up worse.
He looks at the gnome looks at you and goes, "Wait your turn in queue." As Romulus picks up Curve and moves her to one side.
I'm sorry for my friend. Kirv's not the most familiar with fine carpentry or woodwork. Um, Apologies. That is wonderful work there. I'm seeing that the joint work on the table is excellent. Of course, I would be willing to pay for the tankard properly. I'm going to just start counting out gold pieces, and but as I'm doing so, I'm gonna. Could I ask your professional opinion? I do some woodwork myself. Um, as your as you clearly are very skilled, and I presume it's a family business. Do you think that what do you think is the best woodwork for wood for things that are intended as decorative pieces? Do you think that a lattice work would be a good design, or do you think I should go for a flat plane? I apologies. I shouldn't be asking questions when my friend here has disrespected your work so thoroughly and your work of your grandmama.
What sort of thing do you mean regarding decorative? Are we looking for like a piece that will sit on a mantle, or are we looking at a piece of furniture?
I'm actually looking for something to start out with. Not a piece of clothing. Let's not be.
You're breaking up a bit there, Harlan.
Apologies. Is that better?
Much better.
Not a piece of clothing, of course, but instead a piece of jewelry. Um, Obviously, there are very few pieces of wooden jewelry that you see out in polite society, and I don't know. I think there's a niche there that deserves to be filled. Fine woodwork should not be confined to furniture.
I mean, if
We
you're
are
looking
art-
for making something fancy, then out of wood for more of a personal use, then can't say I know too much. I'd say speak to the jewelers about that sort of thing. They might know more than me.
Entirely fair. Entirely fair. Well,
You're at
I mean,
120 gold, by the way. Been counting your platinum
120.
for you as well.
Thank you kindly. Apologies, I'm not so good with numbers. All fine. I'm essentially going to be trying to like flatter him as time goes on with like I see so many wonderful pieces of work here, and I'm just trying to like get down to the 225.
I'll say roll me a persuasion check, and I'll say it's flat roll because it would be a disadvantage from Kirv's interaction plus taking up extra time. But you're being nice to him as a fellow carpenter.
I pretty much require a nat 20. No. I get to I look at his face and just like, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 25. There you go.
Yes.
250.
Okay, you pay 250 for the nice looking tankard.
I hate you so much. That is all.
I would like to slip out before he notices that I have left.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily enough.
I have no money.
Okay. So, you otherwise have collected the tankard. I'll say the amount of gold that you have spent on this. I will not dock too much time. I'll say it's an hour before you reconvene back at the tavern with the rest of your companions. So it is currently 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Sorry.
Birthday.
So, Kat and Vinny, how much were you spending on crystals / chalk? Were you spending the 100 for a crystal?
Yeah.
If you need it,
Okay.
I'm happy to spend it.
Yeah.
By the way, Chris, in the time that we were talking to that guy, could I have asked him his name just so I know what this guy's called for the future?
I'm gonna say roll me a persuasion check, given the nature of all of this.
I'll be laying it on a little thick. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, the answer is no.
Okay. No, you
But,
don't.
what was the name of his shop at least, so I know where to go?
That would be. Just need to double check. I scrolled up to check something. Lunya's Carver.
Lunya's Carver.
Yes. Which is Lunya apostrophe S and then Carver.
Thank you kindly.
Okay. So you head back to the tavern, and Cat and Vinny. How much were you spending?
Well, it's 100 gold for the the crystal, wasn't it? And then
Yep.
25 for that. Romulus gave us 150.
150.
Okay.
Did Romulus
I'll-
have? Did you have enough for the tankard with 250 being the cost?
Yes.
Okay.
That will. My money and my thing is post. Oh, I've already deducted. That's why I now have no money.
Yeah, I'll spend the 10 platinum for the crystal.
Okay.
If
Then
you can-
I'll.
I say no money. I do actually have money because I've not actually spent much this campaign.
Mhm.
Because half the shit I've bought has just been ingredients, and that's
Yeah,
it.
no, that's fair.
Okay. Then I will use 25 of Romulus's to buy the chalk.
Okay. So 25 Romulus to buy the chalk. You return back to the tavern. Any last order of business while you two are out?
If I come across a jar or some vials, I'd like to buy them.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Hey, you chose to go out shopping yesterday as opposed to resting up like Kay did, so exhaustion's hitting you hard, yeah?
Yeah.
In this instance, as you're out, you don't see anywhere that's selling jars or vials. You know that if they are selling them, they're most likely being bought up by various adventurers, potion makers, or anything like that. So you gather a lot of the raw materials outside of things that are used for a abundant use, such as like casting and stuff and enchanting. A lot of the raw materials are very hard to get, and so even some of the finished products that are used, even though they're used in potentially day-to-day life, they're being consumed and taken up by various businesses in trade contracts. But you head back to the tavern, having acquired the crystal and the chalk, which note you will have disadvantage on the Arcana check for infusing the material, so do keep that in mind when we get there.
Fine, I've got Tides of Chaos and Inspiration.
And maybe another magic user in the party should assist.
If they're not of the same casting type, they can't.
Yeah.
They either need to be trained in. They'd either need to use the same casting type as Cat, or they would need to use, or they need to be trained in enchanting as well.
To check, no one in this party is either.
Thanks to the wonders of Jack of all trades, I have an incredible +0 in Arcana.
Perfect.
I can give you a bardic inspiration before you start, but you're on your own after that.
Cool.
I can
will
offer a
give...
-2.
I can eat it.
Oh, nice. Perfect. Perfect. Excellent. This is gonna work well. So I'll give Romulus his change. 125 gold.
Mhm.
How long is it gonna take for you to cast that? Carve that.
Let's find out.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Romulus.
Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna make some runes.
Okay. We're going to make some runes. Okay, and Romulus, how much time are you going to spend on this? Or should I say, what pace would you like to keep? You can either rush this and get this done in maybe, I'll say, 2 hours.
Not going to happen.
If you want to take it a little bit slower, you can get it done in 4. If you want to go even slower than that and be very careful, then I'll say it will take 8. Given it is currently 9 a.m., 8 hours would push you back to 5 p.m., which would push you closer to the nighttime or the evening section of this.
Right. I think my best bet here would be the normal pace. If I
Okay.
need to take extra time at the end, it gives me a little more leeway. But At the same time, I can't rush this because it needs to not be rushed.
Okay. In which case, this will... Okay. You are working with a tier 2 material, and it is intricate, but most of the work has already been done. So I will say, working at this normal pace, that will be the time. The difficulty of this will be... Given it is a tier 2 material, this would be a DC 18.
Okay.
For this.
And just to check, which what will I be using?
That
for my...
That is up to you. You can either go... I will say, how do you wish to go about this? You currently have a tankard in front of you. You'll have a series of checks you will need to do as a portion of this. So, what would be the first step you would like to do? You have a tankard and you need to turn it into a bracelet.
My first point of call will be separating out any interconnected parts of the tankard. So if there's a handle, the handle is being removed. If there is, if it's a base plate that's separate from the original wood of the outer casing, I'm going to be removing that. I'm going to be breaking this thing down.
Okay. Would you like to do that with raw strength, delicacy, or using a more intelligent means to go about this?
Well, my strength is my highest, but that also seems like the most risky option.
Mm-hmm.
So I suspect you being yourself would probably say something along the lines of, if I fail, or go too high on it, then that will have consequences. Is that inaccurate?
That'll be accurate. I'll say strength has the biggest downside because you're using raw strength. You could just break it and ruin it. Intelligence means that going about it would be probably have the lowest DC, but it would have the biggest time consumption if you were to fail. And then dexterity would be the middle ground of the two, where it could potentially damage it, but it wouldn't break it.
Would you
be as
accept?
time consuming.
May I put something forward? What if I go about this very patiently and carefully, and try and make an argument for Constitution?
I'll allow that. I'll say in this instance you're going about it carefully, patiently. I will say this will take up a little bit more time. We'll knock the pace to slow for the time being to accommodate for this. So in this instance, this will be a Constitution utilizing your Carpenter's tool, or Carpenter's tool is utilizing your Constitution score. And the DC for this one, as you are, as you're taking it as a slow pace, the DC is decreased by 2, so this will be a DC of 16.
Vinny, you want to throw an inspiration my way? We're gonna need more later. How many do you have?
Oh God.
4 today. So tell you what, I was going to go do some scouting while you work on this, but I'm happy to give you a pep talk before I head off.
That sounds good to me. I'm waiting.
Okay. I'm going to pick up the tankard. I'm going to hold it in front of Romulus. I'm going to lay a hand on his shoulder. Romulus, you are an artist, and this is your canvas. Go to work, my son.
And then K chimes in at the end. If you don't get it right, I get a piece of you.
I mean, okay, so there are two responses here. One is, did you just call me your son?
Granddad?
Daddy, is that you?
Okay, this revelation was supposed to come later in the campaign, but okay, I guess we're doing this now.
Chris can attest, that is hilarious for a number of reasons.
Yes, it is.
Also, we are like the same age. I'm pretty
How
sure.
old are you?
I don't know, like mid-30s, I think.
Oh my god, yeah, we are. 34.
Uh, 35.
Remember
when I was
me.
1 year old.
Remember me. You don't need to be older to be a daddy. Anyway, moving swiftly
Oh.
on.
He may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
Again, hilarious for a lot of reasons.
So, take your d6. You may use it for either this check or I'll say the next one. And remember, do you get to choose to use the d6 after, correct?
Yes, after the roll, but before the person tells you the outcome.
Okay, so go ahead and make the roll. It's just a one regular roll, and you can use the d6 if you wish to. Remember, you know the DC, and it is 60.
I'm pretty confident because that's got a +7 to it.
Okay, so in this instance, there will be a total of 20. Taking your time, being very methodical and patient, and using a little bit of grit and determination in certain places, kind of carefully eking and yanking a few bits off, you take the top bracer off, the bottom brace, the handle. It doesn't fall apart where the wood is there, but in this instance you take the bottom off of it. So in this instance you would just need to shear the top and the bottom of it in a part that you would want to. So at this point it's more of just you can shear it where you would like.
Okay.
So in that instance that's quite nice, and that's all sorted. Vinny's going off scouting, we'll get to that in a moment. Kat will get to your runes, and then Kay and Kirv, if there's anything you'd like to do in a bit, we'll get to that. So, that first one's done. Second one, you currently have the, you've sheared the top and the bottom of this to get the actual ring segment of this okay. The integrity of it from holding it is a little loose. You gather that due to the breaking apart of this has made it weaker to a certain extent. Not to a point that it'll be damaged or broken, but something that would cause a little bit of issue in the long term if you wanted it to hold itself together. You're going to need something to help with this.
I'm going to be using the feather as part of the bracing of this. I'm thinking if it's how large is the feather?
The feather is part of scale mail, so I'd say it's probably about maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lean towards 2 inches because that makes my life a little bit easier.
Remember, this
I'm
was a
going
small
to-
bracelet, so in this instance, it's not going to fit flat on it.
Oh, this
snugly.
is true. So I'm going to essentially, as I said, heat the.
How are you going to heat
feather.
it?
Oh no, I forgot. Okay, we're going to be doing some cold forging then. So I am going to with a delicately beveled hammer because again I've been looking into smithing.
Where are you getting this hammer?
I will make it if I have to, Chris.
Are you adding this to your list? Because a beveled hammer is going to take some time to make.
No, I'm not adding it to this. Is there anywhere I could get some fucking smith's tools in this bloody...
Yeah, I'll allow it. Roll me an investigation check to see what we've got at hand.
Remember, we have been here a few days, so I would have seen a few things.
You've been mostly out of the city, but yes.
I went around looking for things a few times.
Okay. Going around, it doesn't take you too long to find it. Again, most of the stuff around here is finished products, but does seem to be another shop which sells in a lot of different kits and starter kits. As you head in, the human individual kind of looks over. She kind of looks you up and down and goes, "Oh, I don't see much of your kind in here. You're looking for anything in particular, good sir?"
This is after I've already got this. This is like I've realized, oh shit, I need something to do with this because I've forgotten about the note.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be coming here. I'm going to go. I need one of two things. Either I require your assistance in affixing this feather to this bracelet, or I require a hammer with a rounded edge so that I might shape this feather into appropriately fitting this bracelet.
So a bevel hammer, or you're looking for a ball pen hammer, or you're otherwise wanting some assistance.
Indeed.
Well, we deal with training and kits, so it'd be a lot easier to otherwise sell you a kit to be accordingly.
Very well.
If you're just looking to buy it, the kit will be just the standard price that you'd see on the market. And if you're looking for additional training, we can help with that too, just to push you in the right direction.
How much is the normal cost?
The normal cost would be...
Smith's tools. I feel like it's going to be one of the big ones.
I want to say it's 25 goldish, but I'm not sure. Hold on. Smith's Tools. Wrong way. Smith's Tools is 20 gold.
You know what? That's much better than I was expecting.
20
so I'm
gold,
happy.
but it's 8 pounds in weight, so you want to add that.
£8? That's fair enough.
Yep, that should be all sorted. If you want to get some training to put in with that, we can get that sorted, but if you're in the middle of a little bit of a rush by the looks of it, then that's quite all right. Little bit of advice, if you are looking to do this, you can otherwise go to the, depending on how desperate you are, you can either go to the forges below, down in the Ivy Hills, or you can otherwise go to one of the dens, not far from here. They otherwise handle with the melting of metal traditionally. If you want to keep the shape of it, you're going to need to be very skilled with it, or you can potentially ask them to do the work for you in terms of bending it to the right shape.
All right.
Depends
Thank
on
you kindly.
what you're looking to do. Nah, that's right.
I will take those directions if you could.
Oh, of course. You're going to want to be heading to... You need to head to the... I'm looking for the one that's jewellery or metalworking. You've either got the Den of Gems, which is further down the way. You're going to want to head into the dark alleys, take a left, travel down for about, I'd say, 3 minutes or so. It should be around there somewhere. It's got a wooden diamond above the doorway, just to note which one it is. Alternatively, if you're otherwise just looking to get the metal bent or maybe even reshaped or cast, you want to head to the Den of Sparks. That one you can find not 3 buildings down, just further into the dark alleys. It's got a large open front, more of a stone interior.
Even if it's a bit further away, I think the Den of Gems is the better option here, since we are objectively trying to make something fine and delicate.
Okay.
So I'm going to head to the Den of Gems.
Okay. Takes a little bit of time, and so in this instance, I'll say that you've taken... I'll just mark this down for my own purposes. I'll put this in the current encounters. Wait, has my music stopped?
Yeah.
What's going on here? Okay, that was odd. How long has it been like that?
Quite a bit.
Oh, okay. And there's... so, you have taken... I'll say you've taken 2 hours thus far, and this will take another hour
Oh dear.
as part of this. So, heading to the... you spending the 20 gold pieces
Yes.
on the smith's tools. You otherwise travel a little bit further into the dark alleys, a little ways before you reach an area known as the Den of Gems. When you reach there, you can see what looks to be a very finely decorated avia of kind of a dark black and purple feather-like design, kind of a long hooked beak to them as they otherwise stand in kind of a, not a regal posture, but a general posture and a otherwise...
Does
Trying
this
to what they're
Avia look
called.
similar to the other one we saw yesterday?
No, that one was a crane, I believe.
Okay, I'm just making sure it wasn't like
Yeah.
the same person. Or, like,
No, it's not
a
the same
family.
person. No, this is a different one. And they have one of those spy glasses that you, or just the, I can't remember what they're called. The ones you just put over your eye when you're doing gem work and
Monocle.
stuff. Kind of like a monocle. Yeah, it's one of the more magnified ones, but they have one of them over their eyes and
A jeweler's eyeglass or something like that.
yeah, an eyeglass, we'll say. As
I'm
they're
sure there's
currently
that.
looking down and seem to be taking like tiny chips away from a gem and cutting it into a nice angle. There are a few other individuals who are currently at their own tables also similarly working, and you do note that as you enter there is what looks to be a very large and imposing individual. Someone of what looks to be a giant-blooded nature, kind of thick arms, torso, more of a general blubber to them than you would see on most giant folk, but it's not necessarily surprising. And then the person next to them you see is what looks to be a younger individual, fairly small, a half-folk person. What looks to be a set of daggers on either side, who's currently just kind of standing around. It almost looks like they're playing, but they are very much just present here. As you enter the Avia kind of stands, looks over at you, takes the eyeglass off, walks around their desk. Ah, good day to you. How may I assist, if there's anything that you wish for us?
I'm looking to brace and affix. Allow me to show you. I pull out the bracelet and the feather. I'm looking to affix this feather to this potential bracelet here, and use it as a brace for the wood.
That sounds doable. It hasn't got any inset carving out. Are you planning to do that? Was that a planned section, or is it going on top of it like a bevel?
It was intended to. Well, initially I was planning to burn it in, but then I remembered where I was, and that's not going to happen.
It's doable. It'll just be very difficult to do. It will cool quickly, and therefore it won't get as much of an inset as you might like.
In that case, I think it would be best to affix it atop. But perhaps I will carve out the shape initially so that it's inset into it, whilst still inset into a carved out shape.
Of course. That could be
So
be
it's flush.
worked upon. We can certainly melt the metal a little bit so that it will be able to bend in accordance with the shape of the bracelet. That should be fine. If you wanted to get to work on the bracelet while I get the fine tuning of this all sorted, then by all means.
That would be excellent. How much would that cost?
It's a fairly simple operation, and seeing as you're otherwise performing part of the art here, I'll say 5 gold. It's nothing spectacular, and I'm just bending some metal so that it can be inset in the work for you. Just making sure nothing's damaged.
Thank you kindly.
Of course. You
I'm
lost
going
your...
I'm going to give just like a little thing. No. I believe that a bardic inspiration doesn't go away until you rest.
It disappeared. It lasts for 10 minutes, and you took an hour searching for stuff.
Really?
Yes.
10 minutes?
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's oh shit! I did not realize that. I thought that lasted until your next rest. Oh, I'm thinking of temporary hit points. That's on me. Fucking bardic inspiration, I guess. Wow, that is really tragic.
Okay. So, with the assistance of this person, I will say go ahead and roll me a d20. I'll say the DC in this instance. I'll say this uses Constitution again because it's just basic whittle work with patience. I'll say DC 10. I'll say, and if you fail, then it will just impede the roll of the expert on my side. Rolling one of Vinny's dice.
Oh, okay, that's a 15.
Yeah, okay. Yep, person on my side got an extra 20. So,
Woo.
Over the course of this, as you otherwise work on whittling it down, the individual gets what looks to be this, what you would recognise as a convenience crystal, but it has been carved into a particular shape. Kind of a narrower section as it goes up, almost like a flute, and a very pointed tip to it. And you watch as they take the metal and they balance it on the top, and they begin to bend it ever so slightly with what looks with just these very kind of gentle and small tongs to either side, as you see the metal begin to heat up, kind of this faint reddish color, as they begin to bend it slowly but surely into a vague shape. Check that it's not too far, keep going, and so on. It doesn't take them long, and for you, whittling away at the shape and kind of working on it doesn't take long either, because as they heat it up the first time and press it, it leaves a nice outline or silhouette where it would burn onto the wood to set into place nicely. Where they bend it in place, you carve it away, and then they place it in, and it sets and seals itself as the wood burns and then sets as it then begins to reconstrict around the metal itself. That should be good.
That is some excellent work, thank you.
You're very welcome.
So, how far along has the carving come at this point? Is there any additional work I can do? Any polishing? Any?
I'll say it's mainly just
sanding?
polishing at this point. So I'll say, given the natural 20 on their part, plus the additional success here is what's taken place, I will say that the work here is now done. It's just going to take an extra 3 or 4 hours to polish it up, make sure that it's properly sanded, make sure that it's smooth, make sure
Lacquered
that the...
things, yeah.
Yeah, making sure everything's okay. So
Okay.
that takes that time, and you head back. So, Cat, you have... I will say, given natural 20 of that, Cat, you have 7 hours to play with making runes.
Okay, 7 hours.
Kay was going with Vinny. You can just add in what you need to make because runes doesn't take a check, so you can just add those. And
Yeah,
Kirv,
that's
what would
cool.
you like to do? Would you like to go with Kay and Vinny, or
Why not?
Okay.
5.
so? Kay, Vinny, and Kirv, where are you headed?
I was planning to head to like as close to the target area as we can get before coming under the radar of the guards.
Okay. Heading up, you keep heading up before you get to the general upper walkways, which, as you remember from being here previously, are very well manned and maintained. Finer woods, general decorations, potted plants, and kind of garden sections that are placed out here. Houses are more well built and structured on well built supports, where it's got more of a general nicer structure to it. As you kind of wander up, the guards are moving through here, what look to be the watchmen, the local guard, wearing their orange and black uniforms, general chain armor underneath, carrying their spears over their shoulders, shields on their arms, and a lantern hanging off their side, as they otherwise wander through the streets, just keeping an eye. As you begin to get closer to the this particular section, which, if I get the name of that real quick, this would be the... As you get close to what look to be the... Hold on. No, that's further up. Where is it? Ah, the skywalk. There we go. As you get closer to through the skywalk, you begin to see these kind of large, kind of bright white stone plateaus begin to form, and you recognize these as the place where your target would be. You can see what looks to be a smooth ramp that runs up, a basic railing along either side, and you can see that the ramp itself isn't manned. You don't see that much traffic. At this current time of day, I'd say around 10, 11 o'clock, you do see what looks to be a couple of individuals coming down the ramp. They are being escorted by what looks to be 2 house guard on either side of them, and you can see that there are the large group of house guard up by the main entrance to this location up above.
Okay. Is that at the top of the ramp or the bottom?
Top of the ramp.
Okay.
Yeah, but going up the ramp does very much expose you to everybody's viewpoint from around here.
Yes.
I will say on a cursory passive perception for you lot, for you, Kirv, this is a new sight, but you watch as this kind of mechanical wooden and metal device otherwise zips overhead with this kind of loud humming noise to it. These massive, almost flapping dragonfly wings on either side, as it otherwise flies around and over the area in what looks to be a squad of 2, which currently coast over the top of the buildings. And just kind of quickly go overhead and pass on, keeping a general eye and surveilling from what you can tell. What looks to be these almost massive ballista on the underside that look down, and a person in what looks to be some form of almost like a pod in the main body of this, where they otherwise move forward. And I guess just to add to the scene, because Kirv, this is your first time up here, you also see, now that you're at the top of this particular city of Zakers, you can see what looks to be these chains that hang from the city and the anchors around the pillars that make up this bridge on the top portion, almost like general battlements. You can see, or not battlements, just the towers as part of a wall. You can see that there are chains that connect to them that go upwards to these scattered islands of bright white rock and stone that float gently in the air, covered in these various coloured crystals. Okay, for some
Yeah, it's
reason.
impressive up here, isn't it?
Discord, why are you doing that?
What's happening?
It keeps pausing my music.
Mm.
You guys carry on doing RP and stuff. I'll figure this out.
So, this phase of the plan we can plan for a bit, but once we get access to the house, we're going to have to improvise. Unless we can find a good way to scout.
I have shown the picture you have to my rats, and my plan was to let them loose and see if they can find it, and if they can get to it, to grab it.
That'd be helpful. Otherwise, any information they can give us about just the general layout would be useful.
They should be able to.
Okay. By the way, I assume you're planning on coming with us? Assuming we can't get it here and now, and we have to go with the infiltration plan.
Who?
You? I mean, I know.
Oh, yeah.
So, here's what I'm thinking. I think it's... If we do get access, it's possible they'll insist on escorting us. So
That's
it
a possibility, yeah.
might be an idea if you had a way to sort of hide with us so that you can slip away.
Could we hide him under Romulus's cloak? I'm assuming it's a big
I mean,
cloak
it's
I'm
not
wearing.
impossible.
I mean, it's theoretically what my rats are doing.
Oh my god.
A rat covered in rats clinging onto Romulus.
Yeah, they try to pat him down, and you're just like climbing around him. Okay.
Sorry, what was this gnome's name again?
Pollet Brew.
Pollet Brew. Is there any title or just Pollet Brew? And is he just like, we're looking to talk to Sir or Mr. Brew?
Yeah, Chris, would I know that if he has a particular title? Like,
I'd say you haven't done the research in it, so you're not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's probably either Mr. Brew or Lord Brew.
The Noble Brew.
Does this place even seem like it would be a place where people would call each other lords? I don't think so. It's so weird here.
Yeah, maybe dodging the question is the best way to go about it.
Probably, yeah.
Dodging what question, sorry?
Like just saying the Noble Brew, whatever.
Yeah.
Avoiding assigning a particular title to him
Mm-hmm.
in case we get it wrong. Just hedge your bets a bit.
You can just say we heard he likes to collect jewelry from somebody. They only told us his name.
We understand he's a man of fine taste. And thought he may be interested in hearing about this fine piece before it becomes unavailable. Does that sound about good?
Sure.
Sounds pretty good, yeah. Let me just... Yeah, no, that's a pretty good plan.
Okay. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you can sweet talk them if needed.
Between the two of us, we should be able to slip past their defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Right then. Okay, so we've got our plan. Once we have the item, we'll head over there, charm our way in,
And then improvise.
then improvise. Okay, if you get the chance to slip off, do so. We just hope they don't have that much security inside the manor. Yeah, it's a pity we didn't get time to make the decoy. That would have helped cover our asses. But
Sorry, I think I was gone earlier. Do we actually have the bracelet?
Romulus is still making
not
it at
yet.
this time.
Okay. So just wait and hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's happening at the moment? I think I fixed my Spotify issue, but I'll have to see.
Okay. So as we've been talking, I've been taking a look at the guards on the ones like on the walkway.
On at the top of the walkway. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Okay. Looking up, you can see there are 7 of them currently, of various individuals, various races. You can see gnomes, humans, giant folk, elven, dwarven. There are a few of them among them, and there are other house guard that are coming to and from, either swapping with them or seemingly coming to chat, discuss, see what's happening, and stuff like that. You note that one of them is taking logs of who's going in and out. You note that there are other guards that are on patrol that are regularly kind of talking to them, and I'll say with that good of a perception, you pick up that they seem to be discussing what they've seen, what they've noticed, what they haven't noticed, and so on. You know that they are currently very quiet at this current time. There isn't much traffic, although you don't expect there to be much traffic given people don't tend to go up here all that much. And you note that none of them come from the same house. All of them come from different houses in their own way.
Probably means it's good odds that we get one of our guards, right?
Given that there are, on this particular plateau, 10 to 15 houses or so, it's quite possible that you'll hit one of the guards. It's about a 50% chance with the number of people that are up there.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately I don't know what his guard's colours are, so we can't actively go and look for them. I mean, we've got some time if we want to try and find some answers to some of these questions, but...
How can we find out?
A book somewhere, maybe? Big, noble families, there's probably like a registry somewhere.
Well, it doesn't seem like it'll do much harm.
We can go take a look then.
Maybe
There's a
we
few
can
ways
find
up,
out if
so
he
we
has a
can-
title.
Yeah, while we're at it. Might be some other useful information there as well that we can...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you know where the only library in town is, and it's quite a ways off, but if you wish to make the trek towards it, it will take up time, but you've got plenty of it to go around at the moment.
Yeah, let's go then.
Okay.
We know what we're looking for once we're there.
So, you head down, otherwise travelling down to the general library, the Den of Books, and you arrive inside of which, where you can see it has the three-tiered kind of cylindrical building here, with the layers going up and up. You head in, asking around, you otherwise ask for books on potential heritage or lineage and stuff like that. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check, and I would like everybody to do so with disadvantage for you three.
Why?
Why? Because this particular book is going to be hard to find.
Okay. Investigation.
Mm-hmm. Vinny?
6.
Okay.
11.
Kirv?
13.
13. Across the three of you, you search for books on this. Even if you were to ask for help from this, the individuals are currently very busy at this current time. It is prime time, and there are a lot of students who have come in. They're doing research, looking for things. They are extremely busy. I will say, given the average rolls of all of you, I will allow each of you to have a re-roll of a single one of your dice, and you'll be able to choose the lower of the two. If you are willing to spend the next 3 hours here to otherwise adjust for acquiring help and trying further, the DC will go up slightly.
I mean, this is all like concurrent with Romulus's
Mm-hmm.
crafting, right?
Yeah, so currently Romulus has about 2 hours until his stuff is done, given you spent quite a lot of time travelling and keeping an eye on the guards and stuff.
I think I would like to try because knowledge is power.
And in this instance, you'd only re-roll one of your dice. It's not like you're rolling the whole thing again. It means that Kay would re-roll the 6, Vinny would re-roll the 4, and Kirv would re-roll her 15.
My investigation is -2 anyway.
Mm.
Can only go up or down.
No, well, not really. Given she rolled a 15, if she's got quite a high chance of it getting lower as a result of
Yeah,
waiting around and basically growing bored.
That sounds like you can only go up or down.
So, do you wish to spend the time doing so, or do you have other activities you wish to do during this time-sensitive motion?
Personally, the only other thing would be for Curve would be the goose thing, but we do not have time for the goose thing right now. So I have nothing really to lose from staying here.
I mean, the only other things I could think of that would help would be either looking into a backup plan, but I think at this point we kind of need to commit to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Or to make sure I'm there when Cat starts enchanting to give a bardic inspiration.
Even though this is happening concurrently, you have about an hour until Romulus said he'd be roughly done. Or no, sorry, you'd have an hour if you spent the extra time here, sorry.
If we spend the extra.
If you spent the extra time here, yeah. So you have the extra
so-
time plus 1 hour left, sorry.
Okay, so
Okay then, yeah.
I feel better about doing it.
Yeah, I'm happy to stick around a bit longer then. In that case.
Okay, so I would like each of you to re-roll your lowest dice for me, please.
Oh, great.
Okay, so Vinny?
Actually,
9.
no.
You're going to inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, 9 for Vinny. Okay.
13.
13, and Kirv, down to a 12 now.
I do have inspiration for being the villain.
Oh,
do I not?
from being Amber. So if you wish to use it, you may re-roll. You may re-roll again if you wish to.
Well, I don't think this. I've gone lower, so it's a fail anyway. So it's
Okay.
just the one die.
It's just the one.
Hey.
Okay,
Nice.
16.
Yeah.
In this instance, as you are otherwise having a look for this particular book, most Kay and Vinny, you're finding it very difficult to find stuff on this. And Kirv, you are too, to a certain extent. You're otherwise going around, you're picking up a few books. Reading's a bit difficult. The language and cursive and the write and calligraphy is all very different to what you're used to. So for you, finding a book written on something is extremely difficult. But you do find various books of what looks to be these kind of pretty pictures and colours that look similar to the one that the guards were wearing.
Guys, this might be something.
Oh, thank God. Let's take a look.
Okay, taking a look inside, you read through it, and this particular one notes all of the major houses within Zaker's Crossing. However, notably, and I can give you this information if you wish regarding each of the houses and their current leaders, it does not denote the minor houses, of which your target is one of. Unfortunately, the DC being 17, you unfortunately rolled one lower, and the book that you are currently looking for remains elusive to you. But you found a good one close enough too. So you have learnt some information about the major houses. So, get ready to take notes. You learn of House Felswin, which is Felswin. House Felswin. Felswin. They are the main governing family that otherwise handle trade and coin within Zaker's Crossing. They deal with a lot of the guilds, the marketplaces, and the earnings of various individuals. They otherwise help with the work for the convenience crystals, and they are also the general record keepers of everything. They are also the ones who otherwise uphold the Golden Crusaders, who are a mercenary group that otherwise work inside of Zaker's Crossing. They are expensive, but they are very, very skilled mercenaries. I'll say through this, you also learn that a number of the houses that are protected usually have a Golden Crusader member among their ranks, for all of the major families anyway. The minor families are less likely to have them, but they can still be present in the nature of them having a rich wealthiness behind them. House Hadalon, which is Hadalon. That's Hadalon. House Hadalon is the crafter's house. They are the ones who have brought a lot of the work regarding the knowledge and the crafting, and they are also the ones who handled the main contracts and agreements regarding crafting and the dens with the work of the House Felswin. They are otherwise the co-families of them. There is House Uri Lafron, which is URI apostrophe capital LE capital FRON.
Apostrophe what?
Apostrophe capital LE capital FRON. Uri Lafron. A noble house of individuals more commonly referred to as Lafrons. They otherwise focus on the harnessing of divine and arcane magic, controlling it, and otherwise control the plateaus of stone that float above and around Zaker's Crossing. They are the individuals who otherwise house the growing of crystal and the and the maintaining of the convenience crystals throughout Zaka's Crossing. They are also the ownership, or they also have sole ownership of the airships, and they have various fleets, and they work with direct coherency with the Watchmen that patrol the areas around Zaka's Crossing. You also learn that the aircraft are called hummingbirds, is their particular name, and they are specifically designed to travel quickly and carefully, but they also pack quite a punch as they are equipped with various magical ballistae. They are also the maintainers of the dampening crystals that smother the city from fire magic. However, it notes that they weren't the inventors of these crystals. The inventors of these crystals has since died during the rebellion that happened 20 odd years ago. There is House Rayspark, which is Reyspark, Rayspark. Rayspark are the leading house in research and understanding of various artifacts, sites of interest, and they are the direct funders of the Pioneers Guild. However, their official connection to the Pioneers Guild extends only legally within Zaka's Crossing for the sake of dodging taxes. You know that they are also the workers behind all of the auction houses in Zaka's Crossing, and also neighbouring settlements also are owned by House Rayspark. They have a high amount of income because of this, and also general security of a lot of goods coming to and from. They are also the ones, who deal with a lot of the magical colleges working in coherency with the Lafrons in the effort of bringing education and magically potent individuals to the forefront of advancing society. House Gariel, which is Gariel, is the smallest of the major houses and is more of a recent has made more of a recent appearance. Its money and technology has come from somewhere, however, it is not specifically mentioned. However, the owner of this house is very connected. She, known as Lady Gariel, is an individual who is connected directly to the crown. However, it is not noted as to how. Whether it be via direct bloodline, potential ties, a friend, it's not noted. All that's noted is that she has taken up a very heavy political interest in Zaka's Crossing as of late, joining and having her house settled here probably no more than 2 years ago. There is House Tully, which is Tullet, which is attached to the idea of conservation, nature, and agriculture. They are the primary individuals who work to cultivate particular farming societies and bring the gorge into its agricultural abundancy, but in the same time preserving rare specimens that exist down there. Most notably, they preserved a particular flower known as the Meroetta flower, which is Meroetta, which is a plant that was considered sacred. However, it was driven to the point of extinction due to its harvesting as being a rare incense. However, House Tully have otherwise restored it back to its original abundancy within their establishment, and they now keep it safe and protect it alongside hundreds of other flora within their various establishments. Most notably, they own a tavern in the city itself, known as the... Let me quickly get to where that was. The tavern is known as the Meroetta's Grove, which is owned by one of the Tullys, and they actively man the tavern on a regular basis. Then the final house of these ones is House Velto. This is the first house and the original founder of the city in its manner. It otherwise has ties to all of the various houses in its own manner, as being the original landowners, and the only house to originally support the rebellion when it took place, giving Zaker's Crossing and the southern settlements their independence from the crown, even though they are still tied within politics. They are otherwise a source of authority, and they are the original founders of the Watchmen and the Golden Crusaders before other houses took up their posts within their particular control. And House Velto is spelt Velto. There we are. So, you learn about all of the major houses, and you learn about their various crests and all of that. I would say, with the nature of discovering this, you note that on the particular disc that you will be going on, that you are looking to get onto, the only house that would be of remnants there that you've seen guard-wise, yeah, you've probably... actually, I don't think there would be any on that particular disc. No. There aren't any on that particular disc, and if there are, then I'm misreading my side of things, but I don't think there are. So. I'm just going to take a drink after all that. So, you have...
all this time I've been whittling.
And all this time you've been whittling, yes. Or more accurately, sanding. So, you head back to the tavern, I imagine, at this point, given you were getting close to the time frame that Romulus gave you.
Yep.
Okay. You head back to the tavern with this information. You're not allowed to check the book out, as you are not individuals who belong to the college, unless you're looking to steal the book, but that's up to you.
Crime.
So you head back to the tavern, meeting up with the rest. You see Romulus is busy sanding away, or not busy sanding away, he's busy polishing away, and he's nearly done with his creation by the time you get there. Kat, you've made your runes. Which ones have you made?
Yep. I made... hang on, where's my notes? Where did I just write this down? Trying to work out for theirs. I think it was a heal, shield, and push.
Okay, and add those to your character sheet then.
Yeah, heal, shield, and push. Done.
Okay.
And I've taken out relevance. So.
Okay.
Yes.
So you spend your time doing that. At which point, as you all come together, the bracelet is coming along nicely. It's got the nice, intricate, generally woven wooden pattern to it. The interior has been sanded and polished in such a way that you can't tell that it's separate slats of wood as easily. And the feather has been bent to be inlaid, inlaid into the top of the bracelet itself, giving almost this lightly burnt look, but looks generally quite nice.
All right. Is there any final things I can do to make it look any better? Obviously, it's been sanded, polished, lacquered, etc.
Also, at this point, it's been taken care of to a thorough nature that the only thing that you could do to make it better would be to try and add an additional metal as an interwoven piece, but that would take up a lot of time that you currently don't have.
Yeah, okay.
So in this instance, you've done everything you can, and you've done it well, because there were no failures. It's looking quite good. So, now we move on to Kat's portion of this when it comes to the enchanting. So, you draw out the various circle for infusion. This will be an enchanting check using your intelligence modifier. Receiving bardic inspiration from Vinny, given you said you would.
Yeah.
Yes, I will have arrived back in time to do that, so
Okay.
I'll do that.
Okay.
That's an intelligence check, not an arcana skill.
Well, it would, because you're proficient in enchanting tools. It would use your proficiency bonus still, so it's your intelligence plus your proficiency, so +7, I believe.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so you got a +7 to this. And what element are you putting into this?
Oh.
Because you have 2 native elements, don't you, that you can use?
Yeah. Earth and dark, I believe. Yeah, dark.
Because remember, this will influence if you then choose to enchant it later, so...
Yeah. You know what? This is still relatively new. 10 and up, or not 11 and up, it's dark. 10 and down, it's not.
Earth. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Earth it is.
Earth it is. Okay, so you're trying to infuse it with earth. Go ahead and roll me the check.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else you'd like to do prior to this.
No, there's nothing I can do to help. No, there's not. I've got 3 shots at this.
Okay, go ahead. Give me the roll, and you have an additional d6 to go with if you wish to. You choose to use the d6 after the roll. I will not be
Okay,
telling
right.
you I will not be telling you the DC for this one.
Right, okay.
Ooh.
You know what? +7. I'll do the D6 as well, because YOLO, right?
Might as well use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Okay. Meeting the DC of 18 versus an opposing metal with an already built-in element to it. After failing to identify it, you force upon the bracelet the attunement and infusion of earth. In doing so, the bracelet itself becomes vaguely magical. It can still be destroyed, unlike a traditional magical item, but it is now infused, which gives it a magical quality to it. Kay, you pick up on this, and you can quite clearly see that it has a vague magical infusion, but it isn't actually doing anything for the item.
Worked.
Just a strange question here, perhaps. If this is an earth infusion, presumably earth has relations to wood.
Yes.
Would the wood itself benefit at all from the infusion?
I
In
mean,
sort of
the
perhaps
whole
smart
object,
spirits?
the object as a whole is infused with the earth magic, so it's generally more powerful. The thing that was opposing it, which you pick up after Cat, is that the feather was of a dark element. So you had the choice of 2. The wood element was weaker than the dark element because the metal is of a higher rarity than the wood, so you were currently opposing it by trying to force another element onto it, but in this instance, it worked out. So,
We've got the thing.
with that, you now have your bracelet in place. Now, according to my timetable, you started at 9, and it took 7 hours, plus this infusion takes about, I believe, half an hour. So you have used 7.5 hours of your day, which means that it is currently 4:30 in the afternoon. So, what would you like to do?
All right, Vinny. What do we do what do we do now?
Well, if we go earlier, it'll still be daytime. Well, the sun will still be out, which will be more visible, but that's not necessarily a problem unless things go south. Going earlier means we'll have more time to come up with a backup plan if this fails.
Okay. Well, I've got no fucking clue what to do here. This is you and Kirv, really. I just made the damn thing.
I've made runes.
Yeah, we've done our job.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with the idea. I've done my part.
Well, now it's time for Kay to do his part. He's just gonna spontaneously go underneath of Romulus's cloak and clamp onto his back. I'm
Okay. Okay.
What?
Yeah, we kind of need Kay to hide as much as possible.
Oh,
Okay.
as another thing, Kay, were you going to be sending Rat to scout, or is that something we're no longer doing?
I was thinking about it, but we just moved through very quickly, so I couldn't do that. So
Gee.
I'll just hold on to him and try and figure something else out.
Okay. So, what is the plan of action? Kay is currently attached to Romulus.
Do we have a plan?
I think we're gonna just go up there and try and blag our way in.
That sounds like such an us plan.
Well, we did some amount of preparation. We've got the thing.
And I hope you roll high.
Hey, great plan that can be scuppered by a few rolls. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Oh,
Chris.
Has
Just
Janie woke up yet?
No, not currently. She's unconscious for one more day. Until your last point of exhaustion is gone, she's out.
Damn.
just in the interest of keeping up appearances as best as possible, I'm going to change into my fine clothes,
Okay.
since I do have that as a disguise.
Okay. So, Vinny, you are wearing fine clothes. Cat, Kirv, Romulus. What are you wearing?
Oh.
I will wear what I wore to the fancy meeting with my family that occurred.
Do you remember what you wore?
I believe I had a slightly fancier cloak and a slightly fancier kilt.
Okay.
And that was it.
Okay. Noted. Cat and Kirv, what will you be wearing?
Yeah, fancy clothes.
Because, Kirv, you're currently sweltering in this winter cloak that Romulus has given you.
Well, I don't think I
Curve's
have
heat
anything
resistant.
else.
Wait,
Kirv's not heat resistant, she's purple.
Ooh,
which means
we go through any things like shops on the way there.
No, because you're going up. You could take a detour. It would take up time.
Still got a decent amount if we would like to.
Yeah, if we could, that'd be really cool.
Because I think we want to look.
Part.
Yeah, we don't want to look like we just came off the street with some random junk.
I'll
Mhm.
have you know I worked very hard on this,
Random junk.
Vinny. It's a piece of art and you'll respect it as such.
Yeah, I'll respect it as such. They're guards, they're cynical.
Also, I would like to make one thing very clear. Tell me, how wide would you say is the wrist of your average gnome?
I don't know.
What is the forearm of your average gnome?
The forearm of the average gnome. I don't know.
Would you say thicker or thinner than the base of your average giant alligator tooth?
About the same.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have set up the giant alligator tooth as like I've put the bracelet over it to show it off.
Okay.
It's like a stand type thing.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. I thought that would be a good way. It's primal. It's beautiful. It's
A butt plug. So
if that's
that's what it looks like.
Chris, if that's what you want to get up to on the weekend, I wish you the best of luck.
That's what it looks like because the bracelet would fit snugly to the base of it.
Mm-hmm. You've been looking at some real weird butt plugs. Okay.
I have no idea what they look like. I'm just assuming. So you're going up there? Were you getting clothes first?
I think the belief was clothes first,
Okay.
so we could look the part.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me investigation checks for those of you who are looking for clothes.
Someone help me. Okay.
Yeah, so disadvantage with you and Kirv. Go ahead and roll me an investigation. Okay. So Kirv, for you, it's fairly easy to find clothes that are tailored towards a humanoid form. And you go around and there's a few that look kind of cool, but I'll let you describe the outfit that you would like to have, and I will give it a price therein. Cat, on the other hand, you're a centaur, and there is very little that fits you outside of just general casual wear. There's very little that is pertaining to you. If you wanted to get something smart, it's not really going to exist. I mean, I have nothing wrong with the clothing style that you've suggested. It's just going to be you're not going to be able to find it unless you want it tailor made. If you want it tailor made, it's going to take time. Time that you don't have at this point.
I have disguise self.
Go for it, I think.
What, disguise self?
Yeah, why not?
How long does it last, remember?
An hour. Ooh, I could just keep casting, depending on how long we're planning on being there for.
Hopefully we'll do it as quick as possible.
Okay, I'm doing this via disguise self then.
Okay. So we'll have
Saves
you
gold as well.
let us know when you want to cast a disguise self on the way there. And Kirv.
I'd just like to say that I looked up outfits for inspiration, and I made the mistake of typing in business fantasy outfit. And there are a lot of questionable images of women in business attire.
At least you didn't include the word tiefling. That makes everything so much worse.
Fair enough. So, what would you like to go with for this kind of attire then?
Fantasy outfit wasn't any better.
Would we say a suit? Are we looking at a dress? Are we looking at just something that looks kind of fancy and smart? So kind of just a clean button-up shirt, kind of cuffed sleeves to it, then potentially just some kind of straight trousers or something else, unless you have inspiration.
That
okay.
look looks cool and professional.
Okay. So
Something similar, but instead of a dress, it's trousers.
okay. So more of kind of a smart get up with
Mysterious.
trousers and shirt, and then a mysterious cloak to go with. Okay. I will say this would run you back as fine clothing, which I believe is 15 gold.
15 gold.
Fine clothes. I was right, 15 gold.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, so spending 15 gold, that is now something you have in your inventory. It weighs 6 pounds, so keep that in mind. And you'll be able to wear it. Where are you storing your other clothes for the time being? And are you wearing your armor? Notably, it will be loud, because it is scale armor, so if you wish to wear it, that's up to you.
And is the scale armor like visibly the same as this bracelet?
Yes, there are very clear, visible
Yeah.
similarities.
I need to make it very clear. That Minotaur is significantly less attractive than Romulus.
Than Romulus, yeah.
But other than that, it's a good
Other than that,
likeness.
the rest of it looks like that. Okay. So yeah.
So he's showing nipple. Just
Always.
like...
Always.
Always understood. So
I mean, literally, he's never once worn a shirt in front of any of you.
It's true. I've never seen him wear a shirt.
Oh, what the fuck do I need? Oh, never mind.
So
Where can I put all my clothes?
How many items of clothing have you got that you want to put somewhere?
I mean, what can fit in my bag, Chris? I don't know how much.
you
can
have a
fit in my
pouch.
bag.
You don't have a
I have a
backpack.
pouch. I have a pouch.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a room.
Yeah. You have a room to store this in,
that's...
and
We're already out though, aren't we?
I mean, you can always go back to the room. It just means that the time passes. That's the only difference.
Oh, we left? I didn't know we left.
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah, you went clothes shopping and then you're coming back. So in this instance, if you wish to drop your stuff back off at your room, which notably, if you want to ditch the whole looking like adventurers, you're going to have to drop your backpacks, which means everything in your inventory will be gone. Same goes for if you're carrying weapons. So keep this in mind, depending on what appearances you want to keep up and what you want to hide. That will be a big part of this.
Chris, why wouldn't you let us just win?
Yeah. Oh my God, Chris.
Why won't I let you just win? I mean, I can, but then where's the fun in that?
This
So
isn't
what's-
fun.
So
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So what can we get away with weapon-wise? I mean, we really don't want to get into a situation where we need them. But...
Depends on what you want to look like. If you're looking like merchants, you'll have to go unarmed. If you want to try and hide or get away with particular designs or try and do something, then you can. That'll be up to you.
You know,
Is-
sorry, go on.
No. After you. I don't want to interrupt.
Has anyone seen that first Wonder Woman film with the sword in the dress?
Yes.
Where the blade is definitely between her ass. Is there any chance I can do that with the scythe?
Oh my god!
First
Now-
off,
no,
the scythe
no.
itself in its height is nearly as tall as you, and you aren't wearing a dress, so it's going to be a lot harder to hide.
Okay,
Because
no,
it,
Yeah, but I've
because it
got
would be
cloak over the top.
tilted. Doesn't necessarily make it. That's true, you do, but it doesn't necessarily make
Okay,
it any
okay.
easier.
Now, I understand where you're coming from, Chris, but I want to hear the explanation here. Tell me, Kirv, where is that blade going?
Well, it kind of I mean the pole bit would be the bit that's going
Mhm.
down the back, right? That's being held in place by
By Kirv's ass, presumably.
Just
Uh-huh.
just a
So-
general note, just to remind you on the way that your scythe works, is that it is just a pole until you activate it, and then it becomes a scythe.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
that's,
okay. So
that's
you-
more reasonable.
You don't have to choose between trip hazard and fancy hat.
No, in fairness, it could just be a walking pole.
It could be a
I'll-
walking pole. It
I'll-
would be a very elaborate walking pole with infernal runes on the surface of it, but yes.
I'll be honest. For a brief second there, I did think you were had a scythe just fully inverted, and thought you were going to try and somehow affix the blade between your legs and then cover it with like a cod piece or something.
Oh god! But when she said the pole goes down, I was like, dorsal fin? Question mark?
Oh my goodness.
I'm just going to hide my my hatchets underneath my cloak because
Okay.
I defy literally anyone to try and pat down Romulus when he looks at them with his grumpy face.
Okay.
Also, if they do successfully look under your cloak, we're gonna have bigger problems.
Yeah, that's sexual harassment right there. It's not gonna fly. No.
Okay.
not gonna
Here's
happen.
It's also Kay's hiding place.
Oh, that's that. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm smuggling in on that. Okay. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to have dice in here, which I will be rolling for your stealths respectively, that you will not know about when for the stuff that you are trying to hide. And these will be rolls you will not know the result for, but they will be seen on stream as honest in this particular instance.
Just before we go in, guys, if you actually have anything you want to take in and don't want to hide, I can cast Pocket Bag. We could just store them in there if we need
Remind me
access
what
to them
the
fast.
Oh, you could have
logistics
said
of
that
that is.
before I put a scythe up my ass.
Look, say that or have the entertainment of watching that. No, pocket bag. I can put 4 things in there, and they fit into a 3-foot cube.
Okay.
3-foot cube a scythe would not fit in.
No, no.
How long
Would
does it
my
stay
m-
open for?
It's
You can open and close it for an hour, I
open
believe.
it,
Or is
yeah,
it 4
yeah,
hours?
4 hours.
How big's a mall?
A maul? Very
Mhm.
big. Given it's one that you're wielding to properly use,
Very
it's
fu-
big.
too big.
Yeah.
Too big.
All of your stuff, I'd say the only thing which would be able to fit in there would be a hatchet, because that would be a good 1.5 feet, so you could fit them in. Keep in mind, does it have a weight capacity as well?
20 pounds.
Okay, so keep in mind what you're putting in weight-wise as well.
Okay, yeah.
I was more kind of thinking, would it be possible to use that to smuggle the necklace out?
Could do.
I thought you were going to refer to
Like-
putting K in there. Just fold him up, shove him in, close it.
I mean,
it's 3 foot. We wouldn't even need to fold.
He weighs more than 20 pounds though, so it's not going to work. But in the event that it would be...
Wait, hold on. Did his tongue grow back? Because that's some weight
Yeah.
saving.
That's true.
Yeah,
It
no,
did grow back.
I know it's unfortunate.
We just cut limbs off.
Okay, let's step back from this.
Cat mutilation crime.
No, stop.
No. Technically, Cat has not yet committed the crime.
Suggested mutilation.
No. It's conspiracy to commit mutilation.
Okay.
Yeah, so we see.
Conspiracy mutilation / attempted GBH.
Yes, thank you. We can also throw Kirv in there for crimes against fashion.
Wow.
Hey, Wonder Woman looked really good in that.
And when you make your scythe codpiece / fancy hat look good, you are more than welcome to make that argument with me. Until such a time, a good day, sir.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can use that
Yeah,
to smuggle the thing out. It's no problem. And I don't have to hide all of my stuff.
Yeah, like if we don't get the chance to deposit it in the bag, it's not like that's not terrible. It's just in case there's any like security systems. It would be useful to have a way that's like it's not going to be found.
So can I just?
Oh no, sorry. I'm just mumbling to myself.
So just checking. Sorry, have we dropped off the stuff we are not taking?
Oh, so you can drop off the stuff that you're not taking. So if you're not taking armor, you're not taking weapons, then say so now. If you are smuggling stuff in, please put your counter next to one of these 3 pockets on the left here.
Oh wait, I don't need to hide anything. I can just pretend I'm the fucking bodyguard.
That is.
I don't need to hide anything because the sky self hides it for me.
Reasonable.
Kay
Yeah,
is smuggling himself.
Kay is smuggling himself.
Maybe
I will allow
still
that. Actually, no, Kay, because that would be an active stealth, so I'm not going to say you're smuggling anything retroactively.
Am I alright to act as like a bodyguard?
Absolutely. I
If you
think
want to
that
try and
will
pull that
help
off.
the lie.
Yeah.
Oh
To
yeah, it'll
say
be
this
such
is
a
really expensive.
it'll be
Someone could
such
steal
a
it.
difficult thing for me of all people to pretend to be a muscle-bound idiot.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess I mean, would it just be me having to drop some stuff off then?
I
I
mean,
mean, I guess we want to drop our bags off.
it would be your bags, and then if you have anything that you want to otherwise also take off, like armor, for example. Vinny, I believe, because you're wearing studded leather, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so yours is easy to hide because you can have it underneath of your attire, and it still works quite nicely. And then I think Kirv, you'd be the only one who'd have to take your armor off. So
Yeah.
that would.
But I would still take this, obviously.
Okay.
So the only question is, do I want to?
So how you
jeopardizing everything?
Okay.
By like hiding a dagger in my boot.
There's a dagger in my boot.
There's a dagger in my.
I mean, keep in mind that the pocket bag can hold multiple items for one, and the pocket bag can be opened at any time.
How long does it take me to put my armor on?
Medium armor, a minute. And also, the pocket bag can't carry the full weight of your armor because it is 45 pounds.
How do I move my counter?
Oh, you can just pick it up and click and drag.
Oh, it wasn't working. I think it was frozen.
Ah.
Which one do I put it on?
That's up to you.
Oh, shit. I mean, it just looks like a stick. Remember that, Chris?
Okay.
I know. It's a metal stick covered in infernal runes, but yeah.
So there was a weight limit and a size limit to the...
Yes. It's a 3x3. It's a 3 foot by 3 foot cube, or 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot cube, and it can carry up to 20 pounds.
But there's no limit to individual items.
Nope.
Okay. Cool. I will stash a pair of daggers in there then, if you're okay with that, Kat.
Yeah, no, fine.
Okay. Pair of daggers stashed in there. Cat, are you stashing anything in there?
I don't need to. Apparently, disguise self just disguises everything. So
Okay.
happy days.
Okay, and you're not taking anything off? Or are you taking stuff off and leaving it back?
No. I think the only thing that could potentially be an issue are my saddlebags, but
We'll say those have a religious exemption.
yeah. Hang on, what have I got in my? You know what? No, in all fairness, I could just leave my saddlebags. I don't have a whole lot going on in them. Yeah, I'll leave my saddlebags in the room. I'll
Okay.
take my wand and I'll take my spell book, but they'll both be disguised as a pen and a log or ledger.
Okay. Cool. And Vinny, are you taking your scimitars or are you leaving them behind?
I'll leave the scimitars.
Okay. And Romeo's looking by the bodyguard.
I mean, here's the thing. Why don't I just carry your scimitars, like, on my belt? Just, like... Why not, right?
Yeah, sure. If you're happy to play off that they're yours, then that's...
I mean, I can use all martial
Mhm.
weapons, so presumably I'm decent with scimitars, so... Yeah, I'll just go in with these on my belt. I mean, they might ask me to go put them away, in which case I will try and hand them over, but at least then that you know they're nearby.
Okay.
And if not, you just have to yank them out of my belt.
Okay. So, are we beginning this then?
Yes.
So first things first, Cat, take the spell points off for casting pocket bag and roll me a wild magic check, please.
I have taken the thing for pocket bag and not wild magic, and mage armor.
Okay, so roll for both of those. So that goes off. Pocket bag. So go ahead and roll me a d100, please.
Now, this is where we all die.
73.
This is where we want Fireball, because it just won't work.
Oh no. Okay. I would like everybody except for Cat to roll me a d20. Cat, I would like you to choose prior to everybody finish rolling, higher or lower.
Higher.
Higher. Okay.
I rolled a 2.
I also rolled a 2.
Okay.
15.
Got an 11.
Okay. Kirv. As Cat casts this spell, you feel really unwell. Like, you've just got this sudden stomach bug, and you don't know why. Like, this burst of magic takes place, and then you just feel ill. You are poisoned for an indeterminate amount of time. This gives you disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Fuck.
Welcome to the club.
And now, due to the order of operations, if you wish to try and hide your scythe, you may go ahead and do so, but it will be with disadvantage.
Cox.
Okay, do I do that now?
Well, it's up to you if you want to. It just means I'll be rolling 2 dice instead of 1 now. So let me
You'll
quick.
be rolling 2 dice.
Yep, because you don't get to know the result. I just get to know the modifier.
Okay.
Are you hiding it knowing full well that you feel unwell? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm the one rolling, sorry. You just tell me what your modifier is.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said my modifier for
Stealth.
right. Yeah, okay. 2.
+2, okay. So. And are you hiding the staff, or are you going to try and play it off as a walking stick?
I mean, I'm happy if they think it's a staff. You know, I've got to protect myself. I sell very expensive things.
Okay. Okay. So in which case this would be a deception check in the moment as opposed to the stealth roll that I just made. So.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. You don't know what
All
the
you
result
need-
was. For all you know, I could have rolled 2 natural 20s, and you just missed out. You have no idea.
I will say this. Now that you look very unwell, I think it's very understandable that you'd have a stick that you're trying to lean on so that you don't die.
Oh my word.
Yeah, because if you fall over,
Yeah.
you just die.
Okay.
If you look ill enough, or if you're old
They-
enough, you do.
They might say it's contagious and won't let us in.
We'll just leave you outside.
Oh.
Okay, so, Cat, go ahead and roll me the next wild magic for your mage armor then, please.
Fuck me.
Okay,
It's
you're
fine.
fine.
That one doesn't explode.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
heading up towards the skywalk. It is now getting closer to 5:30, 6 o'clock. The sun is beginning to set. You've gone out and bought yourself some clothes. You look fanciful, and you lead your way up towards it. With Kirv feeling fairly unwell and Cat feeling pretty exhausted, Kay, you are otherwise hidden. I'm going to have you roll your choice of an athletics check or a constitution save, Kay, just to remain held on to Romulus the entire time. I'll just say this is you not slipping on.
I'm going to go. What were the options?
Con save or athletics check.
If there's any support I can provide
I'm
for all this, let me know.
just gonna go with a con save.
I will say in this instance the DC for this will be 5. If you fail, it's not you falling off, it's Romulus having a little bit of an impediment in whatever he may try and do if it gets difficult. Okay. So you have enough grip
Gucci.
and ability to be able to hide yourself quite happily. So,
Figures now I get 20.
Mhm.
moving up towards the skywalk. Cat, when are you casting Disguise Self?
As we're getting to it, so.
Go ahead and roll me your wild magic check, and also spend your spell
Oh
points.
no. Okay, right, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
you're fine.
Doesn't explode.
So, you...
Spell points. I like to keep everyone on edge.
Yep.
Myself included.
Because if I remember correctly, you have, yeah, because you're here, you have a +1 modifier to all your rolls, so... Yeah. So, you otherwise wander up to the skywalk. The ramp lies before you, leading upwards. You can see that there is a set of individuals who have reached the peak of it, and they're currently talking to the guards. There seems to be 2 guards that are with them, and they are escorted back in. The people who seem to have left earlier, going out into town, or going out into the city, perhaps. But you're at the base of the ramp if you wish to go up.
Yes?
Okay. What is the
just,
march?
Just before we go up, I'm going to give Kirv a bardic inspiration.
Okay. What do you say to Kirv?
I know you're not feeling great all of a sudden, but we're all here backing you up, so just do your best. Because I believe the
don't think
plan
this
was
is
for
gonna-
Kirv to lead the negotiation.
Yes. Although I think I need all the help I can get. But thank you.
I agree. I'm so glad you finally admitted it. That's half the battle. We'll get you a good therapist.
So,
So caring.
you wander up the walkway. As you begin to get closer, you are noticing more of these hummingbirds beginning to, not necessarily move as you get up closer, but they are travelling around as it is getting closer to dusk. As you otherwise approach, the house guards in particular look down at your lot otherwise approaching. One of them kind of steps up, as the other 2 kind of bar the way in and goes, excuse me, what exactly can I help you with?
Oh, hi there. Fine evening, isn't it?
I mean, you look like you've seen better days, but I suppose so. It is a nice sunset.
As you can see, yes, I've seen better days. I'm very frail and not very dangerous at all, as you can see.
Get to the point.
Well, I understand the noble gentleman in there is interested in very fine fine things. And I thought it would be a good idea to give him a choice of a certain fine piece of jewelry I've come into possession from not this plane, if you understand.
Roll me a deception check with disadvantage, as the guard is going to say, "Is your friend quite in the right headspace
Now
at
would
the moment?"
any of that be
Just-
deception? Because technically none of that is incorrect.
No, I'm good at
Yeah.
deception.
Okay,
Okay,
oh, then yes, it's a deception. Because
No,
we're lying
Harlan
bastards.
makes a very good
Fuck.
point. This would be a persuasion check.
Wait, no.
Because it's all true.
No, it's not all true.
It's not all true, because
It's
curves
not all
are not
true.
dangerous.
I'll say
Also-
this:
My
you can use
persuasion
your
and deception
choice.
are the same.
You can
Oh, it
use
doesn't
your
matter.
choice of persuasion or deception. I will say that depending on which one you choose will determine the outcome should you fail.
Okay, persuasion.
I was going to say I was hoping to chip in and maybe help out here.
Okay, so we'll get... Okay, before you roll then, the guard will say, is your friend quite in the right mind? I mean, there's not one single noble gentleman, there's plenty of them. I mean, this isn't just a single person's home. I mean, look, there are several houses beyond. And if you're looking to sell something, go through the auctions. I mean, 1, you'll probably get more money, 2, it'll be legal, and 3... that's something that we don't then have to ask for clearance for. If the individual isn't looking for you, they won't let you in.
Of course. Only we were reliably informed that the Noble Brew would be interested in items that have not yet hit the general market.
Okay. In which case, this will be a flat roll for me, please, of persuasion or deception. I'll say more using persuasion here because Vinny is assisting in this manner.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Ah.
You remember you have a
Anyone got any
D6
inspiration?
You have a D6 inspiration dice if you wish to add the bardic inspiration to it. It's up to you. Depends on what your total is currently.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah, bardic inspiration
So
will add a
just
D6.
a 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
6.
Nice.
So what does that make the total?
6, 9 plus my persuasion.
Shouldn't it? 9 plus your persuasion makes that
Which is 7, so 16.
16. I can see if
That's not bad.
I can see if there is a clearance on this particular one. You mentioned the Brew family. Gus, I believe that's your quarters. Go see what he has to say. He's not usually one for visitors on likes today, given it's so close to an auction, but I'll give it an ask. What names are we looking at here? Any of you? Do you have names, like a group
Corvette,
name?
please.
What was that?
Corvette.
Corvette. Okay. Sheesh. And he wanders
Excuse
off.
me?
He said sheesh. And then wanders off.
No, Chris. Before he goes, what is the official name of my my family? And more importantly, do I think that would hold any weight here?
I don't. Which ones are you referring to? Because diplomatically,
I'm referring to my birth family. Not the
no, they
ones
don't
I
have. They don't have a surname. They're just known under
Is it like a
under his
title?
title. They're under his title, so you would be heir of so and so.
Oh, would that hold weight here at all, or
Probably
would that
not.
just be?
No, that would be
No,
Beastland's constitution. So you'd be very
What
much
about
looking at.
what about Mother? Because Mother's fucking scary.
Again, that's up to you. If you want to use it, then you can try. You don't know how much weight that will hold.
Oh, it's so unlikely, but also if there's anyone that could possibly... I'm just trying to think. Is there
I'll
any of my
say,
family?
if you want to gauge to see if it might hold weight here, go ahead and roll me an insight check. I will say with disadvantage, because this is a foreign nation with people who you may not necessarily know.
That's entirely fair. Yeah, I want to try and gauge this just in case, because I'm not super. Oh God, no.
Natural 1.
No.
In this instance,
That's
you
another
have
one.
no. You are in the dark. You could play that card if you wanted to, but it could backfire or it could work in your favor. You have no idea.
That's so much worse than having a confirmation in either direction. Um. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say a 1 is probably, or in that situation, I feel like I need to take the less wise decision.
You don't have to. This is just you gauging the information at your disposal. You don't know whether this would be a good or a bad idea. So in this instance, it's down to you as Harlan, not Romulus. Because the information that Romulus has is that there is no information to be had.
I'll stay silent then. If it could make things worse, I don't want to risk it.
Okay. The individual heads off, wanders off for a little bit. Another guard from the patrol kind of comes up and just goes, what are these individuals doing here? These traders are looking to Kirvet was the name of this one. They're looking to sell something from an extra plane or something. Somewhere else. Off somewhere exotic, from what I can gather. Right. And you're just seeing if this is going to just pass? I mean, you know that they have to go through the proper channels, right? This is true, but the Brew family are a bit, how do you say? He looks around. Cuckoo in terms of buying stuff ahead of time, prior to auction stuff. The new guard who's otherwise come in just kind of gives him a little slap on the back of the helmet. Because, you know we can't say stuff like that. We should be sending these individuals on their way. If they want to get in touch, they should do it properly. Do any of you wish to say anything or intervene?
I'm just going to lean in a little closer to this conversation. Yes, apologies for if we're in a slight breach of the technicality. As you can see by the state of my companion, we were in a little bit of a hurry to get things sorted.
I can see that they're not well. You should definitely take them to either the abbots or one of the physicians in town, but... I mean, you should be going through the proper channels. That's all I should be saying. We shouldn't be allowing unauthorized individuals through here. You know the rules. Looks at the other guard, who kind of nods for a moment. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, Vinny, unless there's something more you wish to say.
Yeah. Of course. No one unauthorized, but we were just hoping to see if we could get authorized, is all.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
I mean, surely the Noble Brew is allowed to request visitors.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check here.
Persuasion. 23.
I think this one, as much as I would agree that it is protocol to send them on their way, we've already sent the guard to go and speak to the Brew family. Why not just wait to see how it turns out, eh? Means we don't have to move anybody, means I don't have to leave my post. I can wait until my replacement comes in and then I can go home. I don't have to do any overtime or anything. The other guard looks at him very, very like, you shouldn't be doing this. Looks around the others for support, who all just kind of ignore her. Fine. Fine. Have it your way. But don't blame me if you lot get into trouble. Hey, it'll be fine. None of the nobles ever find out about this anyway. They just come up to the door, we let them in, they move on, no problem. The guard, the the other guard who was on patrol, otherwise leaves with the person she was walking with. And then the other individual who was sent off comes back.
It's so unlikely to do anything.
Okay, I am going to say, in this instance, given that the individual is headed off, you've said yourself a good case. In this particular instance, you haven't shown the item, but you have been shown to be travelers in this instance and traders. I would like a group persuasion check. I would like everybody to roll individually, and this will be, I will say, more successes to failures. If it ends up being a tie, I'm going to take totals.
Am I doing this with?
You're doing it with
disadvantage?
disadvantage because you have exhaustion, and Kirv's doing this with disadvantage because she is poisoned.
What is a success and what is a failure?
In this particular instance, I am going to roll for the interest for the Brew family, and in this instance, I am going to hedge it versus the time of day.
Can I use Tides of Chaos on
So
this?
you can. It's a regular roll. Just remember that with Tides of Chaos, you only get to re-roll one of the dice.
Wow.
So that was their roll to see how interested they are. This is going to be the roll. I am going to roll a d6 to add to this because you have piqued his interest with the particular nature of this. Okay, so that's adding that. And then I'm going to subtract a d4 because it is dinner time.
0.
Okay. So the DC is currently 14. Romulus, what did you get?
I got a 10.
Okay, 10.
Oh, is there any chance I could substitute intimidation because I am trying to be a bodyguard?
In this instance, this is more of the trying to gauge whether the Brew would have invited you in because they are interested,
Fair
or
enough,
whether this
fair
is something else. So in this instance,
Thought I'd try.
general interest based on party dynamic. I don't know why Damian's in the initiative. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Vinny.
That was a 20 on persuasion.
20 on persuasion. Okay, mark that as a success. K.
Oh, I had to roll too.
Yes. Yeah. This is just me trying to. This is just trying to gauge interest here.
I got a +1. So
14
Okay.
meets the DC, so that is a success. Cat.
9.
9. There's a failure, and Kirv.
Still on curve.
16. Is that
16
plus the skill, sorry.
plus the skill. Yeah.
Oh, that's 16 plus 7 then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's 23. Quite happily with disadvantage.
Yeah, bro, I rolled an
Oh, man.
18 and a 16.
Sweet. Okay.
Good at
Okay.
persuading.
So the guard otherwise looks over the troop and goes, the Brews have said that they're interested in to potentially converse with this. They've asked any armed personnel to wait here. So any of you that are carrying weapons, which seems to just be you, big guy, just to wait here amongst the rest. And anybody else is welcome to go with, unless you want to leave all of your weapons here. I mean, I understand having some muscle because you're here to guard the produce and stuff would make sense, but at the same time, this is noble property. So if you want to come with, you're gonna have to disarm yourself.
As long as we're past the walls, I would think that would be okay.
Of course.
What do you think, big guy?
I will start. I start taking off weapons.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with the biggest ones: the maul, the Bector Corbin.
The maul, the Bector Corbin, the Dane axe,
Literally
the
a walking
hatchets.
arsenal, aren't you?
The hatchets.
They haven't necessarily seen the hatchets yet because those are under my cloak with.
Okay.
Kay.
So this is going to be rolled as a secret stealth check to see if they might notice this.
Could Kay help? Maybe.
I'll allow Kay to help. I will. Okay, I'll roll the dice above as well, and I'll take the higher of the two. Okay.
And I'd place the scimitars down next.
Play the scimitars down next. Okay, so you've handed over those. Anybody else handing over any weapons?
I don't have any weapons.
No? Okay. So, at this point...
Daggers in the bag, so yeah.
Yeah. So, at this point, the guard is then... I would like everybody, excluding Kay, to go ahead and roll me a d20. The 2 with the lowest roll will be investigated.
Oh,
With
no.
Please
disadvantage
no.
again.
Hmm?
Is this just a straight
This
20?
is just this is a straight d20, one roll, just to see what the numbers are.
Oh,
Thank you, Lord above.
Well,
Okay. So, the 2 with the highest, was it? Oh, no, 2 with the lowest
Oh,
are being
You
checked.
said the 2
So,
with the lowest. You said the 2 with
Vinny
the lowest.
and Cat are being checked. So,
oh shit! Oh no!
Vinny, the guard performing the investigation check on you is a natural 20. Are you concealing anything on your persons?
no, I left all my
Because you
stuff
left your
behind.
daggers in that. So, you are clear. There is nothing wrong with that. Cat,
Cool.
the investigation check that is being acted on you. That is a total of 9. You are using Disguise Self.
Yeah.
In this instance, what is your spell save DC?
15.
15. With disadvantage, that would take that down to a 10. They do not, despite the nature of how Disguised Self works, they do not pick up on the fact that you are Disguised Self. They do not notice any differences. The clothing and the fabric is still there. They don't particularly note too much out of the ordinary. And the book and the quill that you have that are just disguised as different objects from the dagger and the wand and the book that you have, that's the only thing that's changed. They don't notice. And you as a group are allowed in. But Kat, do you have anything? You put your saddlebags in your backpack behind, don't you? So you don't have anything else on your person.
I've only got saddlebags, don't have backpack.
Oh, that's right. So in which case
Yeah.
then you wouldn't have anything else on your person, so there's nothing to worry about. So Kirv and Romulus, you are let in. Kirv, the guard, seems to just generally kind of give you a look over, gives a nod, asks you to kind of lift up your cloak, which you do, and there's nothing really under it other than fancy clothing. And you're otherwise holding your staff there in place just to kind of help you, playing it off a bit as a, oh, don't worry about me sort of thing. And Romulus, you're big and intimidating and you've handed over 5 weapons. They're pretty sure you're okay. Plus, Kay is hiding 2 hatchets and I'm going to say, Kay, give me a stealth check. I'm going to say with advantage because they didn't check Romulus and this is just going to be versus the passive perception of the guards. Yeah, you're fine. The guards do not notice you, and you successfully hide the hatchets as you otherwise enter the beginning of the plateau. You are led through by the house guard of the Bruise, as you are led through the area here, and it's very nice, picturesque, and wonderful. And you see a few more of the hummingbirds kind of hovering overhead. They travel up, kind of wait a bit, and then move on. The house guard just kind of leads the way, a singular guard, notably, to the outside of a otherwise large and fairly beautiful building of white stone. What looks to be a barred metal fence otherwise runs around the perimeter, and just inside of it, outside of the patio that runs up to the front door, you see within the boundaries of this, but outside of the building, is beautiful, luscious, almost greeny turquoise grass with a variety of exotic plants. You see that a number of the houses are themed, not necessarily differently, but with different styles to them. This one is very colourful and exotic in its style. Some of the others are more plain and simplistic. Others are taller. Others are more wider in their particular design. And you begin to note that there are significant differences, but the Brew household is very secured and locked off compared to the rest of them. It has the same sort of similar securities, but this one is more secure than most others. As you otherwise get closer to the entrance here, the house guard otherwise looks up at what looks to be 2 other house guards who are currently waiting outside the gate, and otherwise kind of nods and leads in to the interior of the household. 2 large wooden doors lie in wait as the house guard knocks on the door and is opened momentarily by a servant. What looks to be a kind of an older looking lady, probably in her early 60s. Human in nature, kind of thinning hair, grey around the edges and near her ears, as she otherwise looks out, notes the house guard and goes, "Please do come in. If you wouldn't mind waiting in the sitting room, the master of the house will see you soon." And the guard leads you into the household. And that is where we will stop for the night. So I think that is a good point to finish as we begin to move into the next step of your little adventure here of conning a potential target. So,
Real quick, it's very important.
mm,
The D6s on the goose look like nipples.
goodness.
It's true, they do.
They do, and it's terrible. And then the D10's its
Yeah.
butthole. All right.
Hey, nice.
Rude,
So,
Chris,
with that
rude.
end, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.